gentlemen, welcome to episode 123 of the It's Obvious podcast. My name's Garrett Drake, and I'm joined across the table by Jacob Alka.
Good evening, Garrett.
Hello, Jacob. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very, very well.
That's good.
I've had a pretty jam-packed weekend. I'm exhausted. I've just returned home from Las Vegas, Nevada. Mm-hmm. Wonderful trip, but I landed about 2 hours ago, and now we're here at nearly midnight doing episode 123.
Yep.
I gotta tell you, I'm very excited to be here with you. I'm glad we could pull it off. It's a miracle it's happening. Mm-hmm. Hopefully the video version doesn't come out late. I'm gonna have to upload the video version from the hotel in Seattle that I will be at fairly soon, as of tomorrow evening.
Hopefully it won't be too bad.
Yeah, the audio version will be up, of course. So if you're listening at midnight Eastern when this launches, then congratulations to us, Jacob. I uploaded it in time.
Yeah.
But the video version may take a while to upload. I don't know how the hotel Wi-Fi will be. So, but we'll talk about that in a bit. How was your weekend?
It was awesome in terms of what I like doing, but I didn't do anything exciting. I've literally spent the whole day playing video games and watching football, and it's been nice.
That sounds immaculate. I also spent the weekend playing video games, but not relaxing and watching football. But I did watch some motocross.
Okay. How was that?
It was fun. I was in Las Vegas for a Square Enix event that they were hosting with Monster Energy Supercross Cup, the championship race that I think it's the season ender, or I don't know when it takes place in the season of motocross. I know nothing about motocross and supercross, but it was at that event that was happening over the weekend in Vegas, and they were also debuting the new video game, the official video game of the Monster Energy series, essentially. It comes from developer Milestone, and they're known for making I think it's called the MXGP motocross series, which I also know nothing about.
It's a game that our friend is very into.
Okay, yeah, Evan, because he rides motocross.
Yes. Well, he used to. He said he's retired now.
Is he retired?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
He still rides though.
For fun.
Yeah.
He just doesn't compete or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, actually, when I had to write about this game, and I mentioned a story briefly where the one and only time I've been on a dirt bike, I made it about 10 feet forward, and I crashed violently into a mailbox, and that was the last time I got on a dirt bike. I was in 8th grade at the time, and it was humiliating.
Did you just not click in your head that you should let go of the
No, it was just one of those things that, like, it's the first time I'd ever felt like a motorcycle handlebar. You know, I think most people that ride a motorcycle their first time are, like, afraid to let go of that once they get going. I was one of those guys. At least I was on it. I wasn't one of those people that was like running with it as it wheelied into something. Mm-hmm. But I was on it, but I was afraid to let go, and I just smashed into a mailbox and fell off.
Nice.
I left bruised and beaten, Jacob, but I lived to ride another day. Engine? Or lack thereof. I did not get burnt by the engine, thankfully.
That's good. Or the exhaust, I mean.
Yeah, I knew to look out for that because both my uncles at one point used to ride motorcycles. I used to ride with them down like the coast of Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. And they're like, watch your leg now. You don't want to burn it on the engine. I may have once or twice, but subconsciously I knew to look out for that. Because that's never fun. It's kind of like burning your heel on a scooter, a razor scooter in the summertime. That is an awful sensation. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If you ride a scooter barefoot, you know what's even worse?
What?
Would you say that's worse, or just swinging the scooter around and it hitting you in the shin? I think the shin's way worse. Because at least with the foot, you can remove your foot and it's almost instantly gone. The pain vanishes. Yeah. When you get hit in the shin, man, that pain lasts for a while. I mean, barefoot doing the brake, yes, that sucks. But just getting hit in the shin in general with a razor scooter
the shin's much worse.
Awful.
Yeah.
So bad. Never tell you about the time my mom saw me riding my scooter in the cul-de-sac when I was a child. I was actually surprisingly good at it. I mean, I guess scooters are pretty intuitive. You have handlebars and stuff. My mom saw me doing that. She's like, I want to give that scooter a try. I'm like, all right, I'll hop on my bike. So we get to the top. I don't know what my mother's thinking. I remember this clear as day. It horrified me. I'd never seen something like this happen to one of my parents before. So we go to the top of the hill, and my mom goes down on the scooter before I go down on my bike. And for some reason, I'm just watching my mom. And it's like when you're riding a skateboard and you feel it wobbling and you're like about to fall off going down a hill because you're going too fast.
It's terrifying.
Well, that was happening to my mom on a scooter. Like the handlebars were going back and forth violently.
How?
I don't know. She's never been on a scooter. I don't think she's ever ridden a skateboard or scooter. I mean, maybe she's rollerbladed in like the 80s or something. I don't know. But, and again, this is when I was like in elementary school. So I see my mom wobbling like crazy down the hill. And all of a sudden she front flips over the handlebars like full speed and just skids across the pavement. And I was so shocked. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry or scream. And I just remember riding down and being like, are you okay? And my mom was so mad. She was she's all scraped up and everything. She was pretty pissed.
I bet.
But I'll never forget that. There's a similar situation when I was in the cul-de-sac shooting hoops as a child. I saw my mom practicing karate moves that I was learning in karate at the time in the garage for some reason.
Yeah. So I grew up with
random stories about my mom.
I grew up with a Razor scooter as well.
Yeah.
Me and all my friends. And my friends had a steep hill. And what we would do is we would open up their garage doors. I had 2 garage doors. There's like a little space in between, as most garages have. But we would start at like halfway up this hill, and we would get down on our scooter like this. We'd like be crouching and be kind of like riding.
I know that move.
And we would race like that. We would all start at the same time. We'd create a course, and we would try to like see who could get through it fastest. And I don't know. We always did shit like that. It was fun.
That sounds great. I think the most confidence I've probably ever had in my entire life was the first time I rode a scooter, because I saw them on TV. But I'd never been on one. But I had a feeling in my gut since I'd skateboarded a bit as a kid. I was like, I get the feeling I could really handle that scooter nicely. And I kept telling my parents, can we please go to the store and get a scooter for Christmas? Like, I don't know if we want to get you one of those, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, I'll prove it to you that I can ride it. If I can prove it, can I get one? They're like, yeah, sure. So we go to Toys R Us, and I whipped that thing out because they had them on display where you could ride them in like this little area. Rode it in circles like a professional, man. That's how I got my Razor scooter. It was black. So my sister got a red one. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was foreshadowing to its obvious gaming. The red and black scooters.
Yeah, I don't think so. I had the original silver one.
Okay, that one was cool.
Did you ever have a motor scooter?
I didn't, but Ridge Miracle did.
I had one, and I got it taken away 3 days later.
Why, did you wreck it into something?
No.
You tell me this, you like wrecked it into a car or something.
No, I got pulled over in my neighborhood.
That's what it was.
By a cop, yeah. Apparently, I'm not old enough to use it. That's what he said.
You have a license for that scooter, boy?
No, I didn't.
That motor scooter?
And he told my parents I couldn't use it anymore. I was pulling out of my driveway, and he stopped.
You didn't even get out of the driveway?
No, I had ridden it around the neighborhood before.
Okay.
Because I got it on my birthday, and then 3 days passed.
Dude, that's so sad.
And then I could never take it out again.
Do you still want one to this day?
No. It's not.
I'm gonna get you one. I'm gonna get you one for Christmas, Jacob, so you can ride it to your heart's content.
I will not touch it.
You can ride it over here for the podcast.
It might be useful, like to take to the pool,
right,
in the neighborhood. But other than that,
I remember Ridge Miracle riding one of those. Had a seat and everything. Did yours have a seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he would ride that over to my house. You could hear him coming from like a mile away. It was the funniest thing. Yeah. What was the top speed on one of those bad boys? Like 25 miles an hour?
More than that.
Was it more than that?
Probably, yeah.
You have like a...
Probably 30 or something.
Did you have like a moped or was it a scooter?
I think it was a scooter. Maybe it was a moped. I don't know.
If it was a moped, I could see why you would need it.
It didn't look like a moped, though, because it had like a huge exhaust on it. It was weird.
It was torqued out, dude. It was so sick.
Maroon scooter.
That's awesome, Jacob.
I think it was called a motor scooter. I don't think it was a moped.
Motor scooter.
I think there's a difference between the two.
There definitely is, yeah, for sure.
But
well, the game I played, it was called. It's funny. It's the funniest title. It's called Monster Energy Supercross: The Official Video Game. Ridiculous title, but it was a surprisingly impressive game. I don't play motocross games often. I've played many in the past, most notably on PlayStation 1, Preston and I would play this motocross game and intentionally go off this jump where when you hit it, you hit this wall and it did the funniest animation every time you hit it. And for hours when we were bored, we'd play this motocross game and just smash into that wall over and over again because we thought it was so funny. So that's the bulk of my motocross experience going into this event. But it was cool because it was at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, surrounded by these gorgeous mountains of Nevada. This is my first time in Nevada. It was gorgeous there. And all the pro riders were there. They were there for a press conference prior to the weekend event. The guy that won last year, I think he won like $1 million if you win. He was there like leading the press conference and everything. So I don't know anything about motocross. I don't know any of the riders, but I was in the presence of all these pros apparently, which is kind of cool. But they did that and talking about the actual real life event, and then they announced the video game like, all right, the riders are going to go out and do their qualifying laps. You guys are welcome to watch, and then we have a gaming lounge for all the media people to come play the game and blah 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 blah, get their impressions. So it was cool. I don't know if you watched my Instagram story. It was on my Instagram story, but I just sat around in the stands and watched them do their qualifying laps on this track for an hour, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And I went and played the game. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. It's cool. Developed on Unreal Engine 4, which is kind of a given because everything on Unreal Engine looks gorgeous. But I mean, I'm talking like photorealistic graphics. It looks stunning. And probably the coolest parts to me, I mean, I like little details like this. I mentioned the guy I did an interview with where while you're riding, all the dirt will get caked up on your bike and your jersey as you go, and like the ripple of your jersey and the wind looks really good. And the track, similar to another motocross game that came out, I think Square Enix published a different one that came out earlier this year that I played at E3, I believe, where the track itself will leave behind the marks where you like skid up the dirt or like knock over barriers and stuff. Yep. It all stays there and reflects kind of the damage you've inflicted over time. So little details like that I appreciate in any game, whether it be sports or shooters or whatnot. That's what I've always loved about Battlefield, like the destruction, for example. But game was cool. I interviewed the marketing manager. His name was Andrea. They're from Italy. Really cool people. It was a really tiny team that was there showing off the game. It comes out February of next year for people who enjoy motocross games.
And what systems?
Everything. It's PS4, Xbox One, PC, Switch, and even mobile. I don't know what... I think the mobile is like a weird version of the game, but they're trying to reach all platforms. But
that's cool.
It was cool. I mean, maybe I'm easily impressed because I don't play games like that often, but I thought it looked and played amazingly. And it's also meant to be as realistic as possible. Like all the pro riders have their faces scanned into the game, so it looks just like them. And it's physics-based as well, which is cool. The easy mode is pretty simple. It feels like an arcade racer, but when you play on pro mode, that's where the physics really come into play, where you can control the weight of your bike and your rider. And I tried that mode and I was terrible. I crashed into everything constantly, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. But I will tell you this, Square Enix, man, they know how to party. Because obviously we're in Vegas. A lot of it, maybe not everyone, me and a couple other guys. One guy from Destructoid in particular is kind of who I hung out with the whole time. Had also never been to Vegas. We were just kind of along for the ride. So they started us with a steak dinner in the Palazzo, not Palazzo. I can't remember the name of the hotel. We stayed in the Palazzo on the Strip. And there's a restaurant in there called Cut. And you may remember on this podcast a while ago, I mentioned a restaurant in Atlanta called American Cut. This place was just called Cut, and it was essentially the exact same thing as American Cut. The steak was practically the same. All the appetizers are the same. I also had a similar old-fashioned. Now, I will say the old-fashioned at American Cut is far smoother. The smoking old-fashioned, I like that more. But I had a barrel-aged old-fashioned. Had a bit more of a bite to it, but it left me satisfyingly buzzed for the majority of the evening. I also had a nice glass of wine from 2013. Just so old, 2013. Yeah. So, but that was pretty good.
It's older than you think it is if you take a minute to think about it.
It was good, though. I mean, I don't drink wine often, but it was tasty. And I asked all the wine experts at the table, is this a good wine? And they're like, oh, yeah, this is excellent. I'm like, all right, just making sure because I think it's good, too. But
did you ask to waft their wines, too? It's like, hey, let me waft your wine.
No, I watched what all the experts were doing. Like the waiter would pour the wine and they'd like twirl their glass. I'm like, no, tell me this since you're a wine expert. Yeah, exactly like that. I'm like, why are you? What is the purpose of twirling the glass? Like, just opens it up, lets it breathe a bit. I'm like, okay, so I'm like trying to do. I'm like sloshing it everywhere,
spilling it everywhere. No, like this.
Treating it like a maraca. The only thing I know is how to properly hold a wine glass. I heard for red wine, you're technically supposed to hold it by the stem, because if you hold it by the glass like a goblet, you warm up the wine. It's not meant to be warmed up. Now, some people will hold it with like 2 fingers above where the wine actually sits in the glass, but trying to be proper, pinky out, holding it by the stem. If you're not careful, you'll snap that stem in half. But I think that's the most I've ever drank in one night was last night. Now, miraculously, I did not get drunk because it was so... Every drink I had was so spread out. We started at the steakhouse. I think the most buzz I was at the steakhouse where I had the old fashioned and I had wine. I think I had a couple glasses of wine and I thought I felt fine. And then I stood up to go to the bathroom. I just like instantly started laughing as I was floating. I definitely was drunk. What I do to test myself is I do math problems in my head, like really complicated algebra. I know that sounds so weird because I hate math, but that's how I know if I'm like too far gone. If I can solve algebra problems in my head, I know I'm okay. So I know that's strange, but that's how I do the test. But I was definitely out there a little bit because I was floating.
What did you drink with us?
I floated all the way to the bathroom. It was funny, earlier in the day, one of the Square Enix guys was introducing me to the game, and we were talking, and I recognized him, and he recognized me, and he's like, where did we meet before? I'm like, I know it was somewhere this year. He's like, was it E3? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, was it PAX? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I've been to a few things. And he's like, I don't know. Anyway, here's the new game. So I started playing it. And then in the bathroom, I saw him in the bathroom. And we're both like a little buzzed. And I was washing my hands like, I remember where I saw you. He was like, you showed off that gravel game at PAX. And he like freaked out. And we had this moment in the bathroom together, washing our hands. It was funny. It sounds ridiculous, but when you feel that way, everything's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But, we went to the Rio Next hotel and casino, and that was really awesome. We went to a rooftop bar there where they had these, I think that was on my story, to these dancers, and you see the entire view of the city. It's so high up. It was amazing, just the sights from there. And I had maybe there's a name for this. It was vodka, Red Bull, cranberry juice, and maybe tonic was in it too. Is there a name for that drink, or is it just a mixture
vodka
of
Red Bull?
I guess it had like 4 things in it.
Oh,
it was like half a glass of vodka, a wee bit of Red Bull, and like a wee bit of cranberry in it. I don't know if there's a name for that, but that was delicious.
I mean, there's a cranberry Red Bull. You can literally just buy it.
It was cool though because they brought us this, and it was like a buffet of alcohol. They brought us this platter where I had glasses, like empty glasses, this giant bucket of ice, fresh cherries, limes, lemons, orange peels, this fresh unopened bottle of vodka with a giant glass of cranberry juice. I think it was tonic was in the other one, and a bunch of Red Bull cans. And this waitress would just come and make us drinks whenever we asked about it. So I only had one, of course, but I think that's all I had to drink that whole night. But it felt good, and it was a fun evening, and it was so funny. I don't mean this in a bad way. They were awesome. With the Square Enix people, when you are talking to them while you're working and over email, it's all very professional, but as soon as they take you on the strip of Las Vegas, they turn into like total party animals. It was hilarious. So I don't know what the Japanese side of Square Enix is like, but the American side, they know how to have a good time.
That's cool.
So
I'm glad you had a good time.
No, it was fun. And Vegas itself was very cool. I only got a taste of it because we started, like I said, at the Palazzo, and then we went to Rio, and then we went to a place called Palms, I think. It was either Palm or Palms, plural. Another, it wasn't a rooftop, but it was like the top floor of this hotel where you could see the city, but outside these windows. It was really cool. And that was the most chill bar we went to. There was hardly anyone there, so it was pretty relaxed. But that was nice, and the hotel room I stayed in, man, was a straight palace. Like, I couldn't believe how fancy it was. It had like a living room. I mean, this sounds like a standard hotel. I don't know how to describe it, but this living room area that was like down a staircase in the room, and I had this giant window that was this amazing view of the mountains in Nevada, and like part of the strip was out in the distance and everything. And I was like just amazed that we're here to see this motocross game for a day, and they're treating us this well. Yeah. But it sucks because I had to come home a day early because we were going to be able to go to the actual Monster Energy Cup race that day. We were going to have trackside. We could visit, I think it was early, not like during the race, but earlier in the day, we could go to the side of the track and meet some of the racers while they were warming up and stuff. I had to skip out on that. I had to come home a day early because I'm running sound at the church in 5 hours-ish. I got to be up in like 5 hours.
You're insane.
Doing that, and I'm going straight back to the airport to go to Seattle for another event for Activision, which is so blatantly obvious what I'm going for, but I am not at all allowed to say what it is. I mean, everyone will guess what it is, but I just am not allowed to say it out loud for some reason. So I'm going to do that, and I can't even, it's only a day thing, but I can't even talk about it for the rest of this week. I don't even think I can talk about it next week. Everyone knows what it is. Most people have already played this version of said game, and I don't know why they're keeping it such a secret, but I'm not allowed to talk about it, which is so funny.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, but going to do that, and I will be back Tuesday morning, and then I got to go to school on Wednesday.
So you don't have class Monday?
I do. I'm skipping, but I talked to my professors and told them I would not be present, and thank the Lord we don't have anything going on.
That's good.
That being said, on my way to Seattle tomorrow, I have to write a really intensive essay for my cinema history class, because every class at SCAD, I always forget this, you have to have a public speaking assignment and a written assignment. No matter what the class is, you have to do both of those things for some reason.
It sucks.
And the teacher can assign a writing assignment that's like, write a paragraph about what you love about painting, and it could be that simple. Just you have to write something. But my cinema history teacher assigned this really brutal essay where I have to do it. It's like basically a research paper on the history of cinema. But I don't think I have ever delayed a school assignment more in my entire life. I've never wanted to not do something so badly in school. I have been there. I've had a month, Jacob, over 30 days to do this assignment. It's due tomorrow at midnight, and I still haven't started because I just don't want to do it.
Bro, you are not prepared.
That's the thing. I know I can get it done. I just hate it so much that I don't want to do it.
By the time I finished school, I was doing my papers like at least 2 weeks out. I was starting them and then doing just a little bit every day I did a little bit every single day, and then I would have it done like plenty of time before.
That's the problem with me, man. Same thing when it comes to like video editing. If I start something, I have to finish it while I'm sitting there.
I like working in little bits.
Even if it takes me 12 hours, I have to finish it. I don't know what that is about me. I just feel like something's wrong. If I stop in the middle of something, I'm like, I need to go to bed now. It'll keep me up all night. Not that I like feel like the urgency. Well, right now I'm feeling the urgency, but normally I don't feel an urgency to finish something. I still feel like I need to get it done.
I don't know. Like I always type and then I finish a thought and then I'm like, that's good enough. I'll call it a day.
It's like SpongeBob in that episode where I has to write an essay. That's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah, I think I tried to do like a page a day. And like that's pretty manageable.
That's pretty solid.
Hard to type a page.
I think that's why I've been putting it off. It's because I know when I start, I'm going to have to finish it, and I know it's going to take me at least a few hours to do.
Yeah. Like, for example, I think I had a rhetoric class, and I had to type like a 20-page paper. So I like planned way ahead of time, and I just slowly knocked it out. And, you know, it became a lot less threatening doing it that way.
I have so much crap in my throat right now, I can hardly speak. I may have to go to the restroom in a minute. You might have to tell a short story.
But have you played any games this week, besides the motocross game?
Yes. I played a whole lot of Stardew Valley on the Nintendo Switch, and it's just as fun as I imagined it would be.
Okay.
I played a lot. It's funny. Casey has played the game far more than I have, to a point where she's even telling me how to play the game. That's how well she knows it already. I think she has 17 hours played. She
has 17 hours?
Yeah, I'm right around, because I let her borrow my Switch last week. I'm right around 8 hours. I played about half the time she has. But I played mostly on the plane to and from Las Vegas. And I've been building up my farm, of course, managing my crops, introducing myself to the town, doing a lot of mining, going deeper and deeper into the mines to collect more resources and make as much money as possible.
The mines of Moria?
Yes, correct. And, man, I really have a ton of crap in my throat right now.
Should I go get some tissues for you?
No, you're good. Maybe I'm getting a little sick. I hope not. It would make sense. I've been on a lot of planes the past couple of days, and more tomorrow. But it's really fun. I love the charm of the game. The music is wonderful. The sound effects are great. I noticed that, I don't know how many bits there are. Maybe it's 16-bit. I don't know. But I just love the simplicity of the art style. Very Harvest Moon-esque. Of course, I'm not the first to say that, but it reminds me of the love I had for Harvest Moon on GameCube back in the day. And I like kind of reliving those memories. And this is, in some ways, I mean, I never really got really into Harvest Moon to really understand all the systems in this game, but this game seems pretty deep, surprisingly. All there is to build and quests to complete and different farms you can manage that you can choose from in the beginning and everything. So it's been really fun.
That's awesome.
And I look forward to playing more. I think that's all I played.
Okay.
Did I play anything else?
Did you play any Destiny? Anything?
I think I played Iron Banner a bit with Mr. Lemon and a couple of other of his buddies.
Nice.
I knew Sam Crow was with us as well.
How did that go?
It was pretty good. I think we went. I think we won more than we lost. But we definitely lost many matches.
Yeah.
So a lot of the teams we played were pretty good. But I mean, it felt like standard Crucible. It was nothing exciting.
Yeah.
The gear we were getting was cool. I only unlocked the cape. I played just enough to get 1 or 2 engrams, and I got the cape out of it.
I've been playing a fair bit this week, and I've only gotten 2 of the armor pieces.
Bummer, man.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I have almost all the weapons, but the armor is just not dropping for me.
I feel you. I've been there many times.
Yeah.
What else did you play?
Well, I played Destiny, mostly Iron Banner. Ran through some of the raid. But yeah, I have all my characters, like, they're up to 300 now, so just pretty much going to be playing Destiny every week, I guess, on all 3 of those characters, just doing, like, the milestones every week, with the exception of, like, the raid. I probably won't do the raid 3 times every week, but the hard mode is coming out the week this is coming up.
Oh, boy.
So, hopefully I can get in there and attempt that raid. I'm not expecting, like, huge sweeping changes to the raid, but,
Well, Godspeed, my friend. I wish you the best of luck.
It'll be fun. Hopefully I think there's, like, a new shader, and, like, there's some weapons that didn't drop in the normal mode.
Okay.
So I'll be doing that. I've been jumping back into Zelda lately. Really. And I bought a Pro controller. So I'm like,
You're all in.
Yeah.
You've been playing on your big screen at all?
I've been playing on my monitor.
How you feeling? Well, it's like, in the grand scheme of things, not that much bigger than your Switch itself.
Yeah, not really.
You should play on your real TV.
I don't know. Like, to play on my big TV, I have to lay on my bed, or just play on my bed, because I don't have another chair in my room. My TV's
like a little tyke, like crisscross applesauce sitting in your bed playing.
Or I can lay down. Like, I can lean my back against the wall and just play like that. I don't know. I just like playing on my monitor. because I can just play my PS4 and my Switch. I can just change the HDMI cables out.
Sounds like a lot of effort, Jacob.
Not really.
I mean, granted, I say that and I swap out my cables every day for Let's Plays. So I get that, I guess.
Yeah, I just have to change one cable. It's not a big deal. But I'm glad to be playing Zelda again. It's nice to be back. A couple of days ago, I finished Meadow, I believe, which is the flying bird.
I remember you and I beat that one together on video.
We did, yeah. And here I am beating it on my own, 5 or 6 months later.
Right.
But right now I just got to the desert and
you take on that camel?
That's right, yeah.
Cool.
You got to figure out how to get into that all-female village.
I think that's the easiest one, if I remember correctly.
Okay. No spoilers here. Even though I've kind of been spoiling little bits and pieces, but it's okay. The game's been out for a while.
Right. I gotta try to promise myself that I will beat Ganon in the next couple of days because I am at him. All I have to do is just run. And I've already fought him a little bit once by accident. And I just left because I didn't want to do the fight yet. I hadn't finished all the shrines at the time. I also need to find the rest of the memories. I think that's what's been holding me off. Is I need to find like 3 or 4 more memories. Okay. And then I will fight him and beat him officially. Nice. I'm at the end of the game. I just, for some reason, haven't beaten it.
Yeah, you've been there for a while.
It's like Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm at the very end, haven't beaten it for some reason.
You'll never go back to that.
I won't.
I got the Master Sword. I had no idea going in how much life I needed to pull it out. Mm-hmm. I pulled it out with 1/4 of health left.
That's amazing.
So I had just enough.
That's awesome.
I was pretty thrilled. It was cool seeing like the cutscene and everything.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying Zelda. I can't wait to finish it. Hopefully I won't take another huge break from it. I can knock it out. Preferably before, Mario comes out. And also Fire Emblem Warriors is coming out this coming Friday. So I'm probably
I didn't know it was that soon.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the next week is Mario.
So thrilling.
I know.
Can't believe how close we are.
And then December 1st, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, boy.
So many great Switch games.
Yeah, we're going to gush all over Nintendo here in a little bit.
We are, yeah.
I'm excited about it.
That's all I played this week, Garrett.
Cool. Did you do anything exciting outside of video games?
I really didn't, if I'm being honest. Lately, I've just been working out.
That's what you do often, though.
Oh, yeah. Thinking about taking a break this week, though, from the gym, because my body isn't feeling very well. You've been going that hard? I don't know. Lots of my parts of my body are starting to hurt. I feel like an old man.
Interesting.
Like I think I pulled my back, and now the muscles on my ribs are hurting. The funny bone in my right arm hurts when I do curls.
Yikes, man!
It just stings. And
You're
then
a machine.
Then one of the forearm muscles on my left arm hurts when I'm working out. So I just need to take a little break, I think.
It sounds like you probably should. Yeah. At least a week.
Yeah.
You could be like me and work out once or twice a month.
Yeah. I haven't taken a break from the gym in a very long time, so maybe I should.
I wish I had the self-discipline to be consistent about exercising. Mm-hmm. This thing, arguably, I have time to work out. I just am so tired and so busy with so many things that I just can't bring myself to exercise every day.
You are insanely busy.
It's hard, man. If I didn't have anything else to do, like when we were living in the apartment, all I did was go to school. I had plenty of time to work out. I think that's why I got in such decent shape was, of course, you helping me along the way. Yeah. But I had nothing else to do, so I went to the gym. So I'm not saying that you have nothing else to do, but that's how I felt at the time.
Well, I kind of have always planned my days around going to the gym. So
it's very mature of you, Jacob.
Is it?
Healthy.
Should I plan my day around something else?
Very healthy of you.
Yeah.
So
I like to.
You'll probably outlive all of us.
Maybe. I like living.
Will you drop a single rose on my casket when I die before you, inevitably? Thank you. How about you just crawl on top of my casket nude, give it a few kisses, and then walk away?
Or I get to sleep there. That could be my home.
That works. Just every night you open her up and just sit inside with me, and we cuddle every night. Mm-hmm. You cuddle with my corpse.
Till your all dusty remains are gone.
Corpse Cuddler would be a good death metal band name.
That could be my title.
The Corpse Cuddler?
When I introduce myself. Hi, I'm Jacob, Corpse Cuddler.
It's kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Jacob Alka, professional corpse cuddler. You need a corpse cuddled?
Come again?
I'm the man for it.
Come again, sir?
I'm sorry. That's cool, Jacob. I had a semi-exciting week.
Yeah, I know. You told us about it.
That was my weekend. I went to the Devil Wears Prada and Veil of Maya show with Preston Thursday night. And it was absolutely fantastic. Veil of Maya is so good live. Both times we've seen them. And I'm very excited for their album coming out on the 20th called False Idol. That'd be good. Devil Wears Prada was excellent as always. I think this is the 6th time we've seen them live. And they played a lot of their old songs. They actually played the most off of Dead Throne, believe it or not. A lot of songs I hadn't heard on, or at least listened to in quite a while, but I don't think some of them I'd ever heard live before, so that was kind of cool. But I didn't realize what they were touring for, because, bands typically are supporting an album or an EP of some sort. Well, Prada was celebrating just being a band, I think. It was just called the No Sun, No Moon Tour. They are essentially promoting a documentary they did of the history of the band, because they've been a band for well over 10 years now. And it was kind of just them supporting that documentary and giving out free copies to everyone who came to the show. It was like a little download link they gave people. So that was kind of cool. I will say one of the coolest things I saw at that show is, Preston and I have gotten to a point where we just hang out by the soundboard the entire time. Because one, that's typically where the sound sounds the best is right in front of the sound guy for obvious reasons, but also because we want to avoid all the moshing. So I'm standing there, I'm just kind of watching the sound guy and like the lights guy for a minute. And most lights guys I see in my experience, even at like the mega churches I've run sound at in the past, seem to have just a bunch of presets on lights where they just hit a single button and the lights will do some fancy thing. So I was always under the assumption that most lights guys just have presets where they just hit a button or two and the lights do the fancy stuff by themselves. Well, Jacob, I watched this lights guy last night, or not last night, Thursday at Devil Wears Prada. He was an artist with the lights, dude. He did everything manually. I'm talking, you see lights spinning around like crazy and flashing on and off. He was doing every single thing with his fingers, like he was typing on a keyboard. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I have like this newfound respect for lights guys, because every time the lights would flash, he'd be flickering this thing. And then when there's like multiple colors going, he'd be doing buttons all over the board, making different colors happening. And he was nonstop the entire show. I'm like, he was like working as hard as the guys playing guitar on the stage. I was like, that is awesome. I was like blown away at what he was doing to make the lights. That's and really cool. The lights were amazing too, especially when I was watching them in action. I'd turn to him and see what he was doing. It was incredible. Yeah. So newfound respect for lights guys.
Who was he doing lights for both bands?
No, he was just Devil Wears Prada. Okay. Yeah, all the other bands had like the Masquerade standard light guy that just like turned them on and off essentially. Okay. But it was a great show. Had a good time.
Nice, too.
So yeah, that brings us to here, Jacob. How are you feeling in this moment, by the way?
I'm feeling a little, I don't know. I feel fine.
Okay. I'm glad. I have to poop very badly. I didn't poop at all this weekend. For some reason, when I travel, I can't poop. I don't need to. My body doesn't feel the need to.
You need to break that habit.
That's the thing. It isn't a mental thing. I know it's not. I just think my body goes into shutdown mode because it knows I'm not in
my body does
normal
the same
habitat.
Thing. Yeah.
So I don't know why it does that, but I've had a couple of those close calls today where you feel like you're about to crap your pants, and you freak out for a second. You realize you're in the clear. But have you ever shit your pants as a grown man, Jacob?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Have you?
No, I've come close. Always there's been a couple scares, a couple close calls in my day, but I've never actually managed to plop a turd into my pants.
Sometimes when I'm driving my route, when I have that Chick-fil-A coffee, coffee makes you...
It'll hit you hard sometimes.
Sometimes I'm like... Because there's a place where I typically go on my route, and there's like this small little mom and pop workout place that I go to, and they have a really nice toilet.
Is it like a single...
Yeah.
Person toilet?
It has a locked door.
That's everything. What I would need.
Yeah. It has a loud fan. You can't hear anything.
That's great.
Yeah. But I usually go there when I have to go. So, and it's towards the end of it's like around noonish. So I drink my coffee around 6:30. So sometimes I have to wait a long time.
And it'll run through you, man. Yeah. Coffee's hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
It depends on where I get it, I guess.
Then I'm having that Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit too. So
oh, yeah.
It all runs through me. But Garrett, do you have any video game news for me?
Oh, I have plenty, Jacob.
That's exciting.
But before I forget, this is the It's Obvious podcast, where my best friends and I gather every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, I'm going to just avoid Preston's spiel at the beginning. Okay. But if you're listening anywhere other than YouTube,
then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. You can join us at youtube.com/itsobviousgaming. You can subscribe to It's Obvious Gaming's official YouTube channel to get all of our additional content. And by additional content, I mean mostly Let's Plays. Occasionally we'll do a full-on review, but that's been a very long time. We'll do unboxings when they make sense. Yeah. That's been a long time as well. So mostly Let's Plays. Will we ever try something new? If time permits, we'd love to. I think me and Preston talk about that once every 2 weeks. We got to try something new. I don't know what we're going to do, dude. There's just no time. It is a miracle we get more than one video out a week. It is an absolute miracle. So I'm glad you guys watch and support them, though. It really means the world to us because I hardly get any sleep cranking out some of those videos because I just love doing it so much that I can't help myself. I just got to do them. So thank you to all of you who tune into that additional content. We greatly appreciate it.
We do.
Jacob, let's just get into the news. No more dilly-dallying. There's a couple interesting stories this week.
Okay.
First and foremost, let's talk about those Halloween Overwatch skins. I haven't played it at all. I know they've been out for over a week now, but I haven't heard your thoughts. First of all, how do you feel about Overwatch currently? And then tell me how you feel about this Halloween stuff that we've seen.
I haven't really been playing Overwatch, so I don't really...
I know, because you were so excited to play it on PC, and then all of a sudden a Switch turned off, and you're just not the same anymore.
I told you when Destiny 2 came out I wasn't going to touch it.
But now even Destiny 2 is not really doing it for you.
Yeah.
Who are you really?
I'm going to go back soon. Once Destiny 2, like, there's nothing left that I feel like I need to do. I'm going to take a break until the Curse of Osiris. Is that what it's called?
Yes, that is correct.
The DLC, which will be early. I think it's early December. So I'll get back into Overwatch. Albeit I keep saying albeit tonight, but probably less so than I would like to, just because all these games are going to be coming out, and I'm going to want to be putting my time towards those too. So I'll definitely get back into this event for sure before it ends, just because I want to get the costumes.
Does it end shortly after Halloween? Does it go to like the first week in November or something? I imagine
so, yeah.
Okay. I haven't picked it up on PC yet.
Yeah,
I can't yet because I'm saving my money for Odyssey and Wolfenstein at the end of the month. And I would have picked up Evil Within 2, which I still will eventually. I have every intention of playing that game, but I spent my money on Divinity, which I still haven't had time to play since the week it launched because I've been, again, so busy.
You probably shouldn't have bought that.
I want to play it. It really is awesome. I know if I have the time, I will play it, but who am I kidding? When will I ever have the time? Until I graduate school, I will not have time for anything.
It sucks.
It's very sad because...
When are you expected to graduate? Couple years?
It's under 2 years. It'll be about a year and a half, I think, depending on how things go. But that's if I don't fail my cinema history class for putting off my assignments for too long. But if we didn't do a YouTube channel, I'd have time to play video games. But I love this YouTube channel too much.
Alas, we do.
At the end of the day, I'd still rather do the YouTube channel because I just love connecting with everyone and talking video games and making videos and doing the podcast. So
wish there was more time in the day.
Yeah, I know. I that's how I said my superpower when we talked about it like months ago. If I have any superpower, I'd want the superpower of the Cullens from Twilight, where I never have to sleep. I could get so much done. It's a shame.
You're right.
Jacob, did we talk about the skins?
We didn't talk about the skins at all.
How do you feel about them? I think they look awesome.
Yeah, I think they look cool. I haven't seen them all really because I haven't really been paying attention to Overwatch. But I saw. Excuse me. I saw the McCree one. That looked pretty cool.
McCree looks cool. I think the least. The most underwhelming one is Reaper. I don't think Reaper looks that cool.
Oh, he looks just like another. He has that pumpkin head one from last year.
See, that one's cool, but this year's Halloween one is a letdown compared to last year, which you got to ask, why did they do another? I know Reaper's so easy to do a Halloween costume for, but why Reaper again when there's so many different characters to do skins for? That doesn't make sense to me.
I thought Maze was the worst one.
I'm trying to remember what she looked like.
I just know it's like some purple thing.
Some purple thing?
Like I said, I haven't really been into Overwatch lately.
I know, Widowmaker has like that snake-looking suit.
I know Zenyatta.
Zenyatta looks awesome.
He has like tentacles or something.
I think he kind of looks like Davy Jones or something from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
He does look cool.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Zenyatta has some really great skins. I think Nutcracker looks excellent.
Yeah, that's a creepy one.
I have another one that's really awesome from a recent, not really recent now, but...
Is it the Year of the Rooster where he's wearing that crown?
No, it was whatever came out after that. I don't remember what.
Uprising?
I think maybe. I don't know.
I'm trying to think if you got a skin for that.
I just know it's a really cool one. I don't know.
Whatever.
It could be anything if I say it's cool.
I'm pretty sure Symmetra has a cool one, but I don't remember what it is.
I left her like, let's talk about the Overwatch skins. And you and I are both like, I don't know what any of them look like.
Ordinarily,
but I'm pretty sure they look cool.
But I just don't this week.
I was actually hoping you would know because I only know like 3 of them.
But then the ones from last year are returning to like Dr. Junkenstein, which is one I never got. Well, I'm on PC now, so of course I don't have it.
Do you have ambitions to go pro in Overwatch still or no?
No, I never have.
Okay. I mean, I have ambitions
I'm shit at Overwatch. I'm not good.
I have ambitions to go pro in any game I'm good enough at, but I've never been good enough at any game.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Granted, I've never really given it all my effort. If I really give my effort to something I know, I'm not saying I have the ability to be a pro gamer. I'm not saying that, but I consistently surprise myself if I give all my effort to something I really want to do. So maybe if I cashed in all my chips and trying to be a pro gamer, maybe something could happen. Maybe I could be like a B-level pro someday if I really put my mind to it.
Yeah, I'm garbage at video games. There's no way I'd ever be pro.
I wouldn't say either of us are garbage at video games.
Just average.
Yeah, I'm very average. Now, I've had my above average moments, certainly, but consistently, very average, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up Fortnite in a second, which before I do, I forgot to mention, I played one round of PUBG the other night because I was packing for, where was I? Vegas. Yeah, I was packing for that. And right before I went to bed, I was like, I kind of just want to chill for 5 minutes because I never relax to do anything myself anymore. I was like, I just want to play one round of PUBG. Made it to the top 12. I didn't see anyone the entire time, Jacob.
So you just ran around for 30 minutes?
No, I saw one guy. I take that back. I was running across an open field is the only way I could go, and I knew someone was going to shoot at me. And this is when it was like in the top 30, and all of a sudden bullets start hitting the ground near me. And I'm like starting to do a zigzag pattern. So some guy way behind me is trying to shoot me with like some sort of rifle. So I managed to get all the way across this field and up this mountain, and I just go over the cliff, and then I like camp on the side of the cliff inside a bush where I can see that entire field. Now the force field starts closing, and I can see this guy like an ant running across the field by himself. Now I didn't have a rifle. All I had was a handgun at this point.
So my God.
And it had been that long into the match, and I'd been in so many houses and nothing was happening for me. I found a ton of clothes, ton of health packs, but no weapons. So I see this guy running. I'm like, well, obviously I can't shoot him from here. So I just watch him run, and he vanished into these trees, and I didn't see him after that. So I progressed further and made it all the way to the top 12, and I got to a point where, you hear gunfire all around, you don't know where anyone is. And I had no choice because the force field was right on the edge of this room I was hiding in, so I had to leave the room. So when I went outside the house, top 12, someone shot me instantly in the back. He was like up in a different cabin or something. Really bummed me out, Jake. I was in the match for a solid 15, close to 20 minutes.
Sounds like so much fun, just running around for 15 minutes.
And I had no action, and of course I get shot in the back at the last second. I remember just saying to myself, like very quietly, I was like, after all that, and then I went to bed. I was very disappointed. It was really fun. It was sad that I got shot in the back after all that.
I feel you.
That's what's so enticing about PUBG, though, is that you really never know what's going to happen. Is those pulse pounding moments like, am I going to survive this? And I did not survive that time.
Maybe next time.
But speaking of games like PUBG, actually very much like PUBG, Fortnite's Battle Royale, or Fortnite in general, I should say now, has hit over 10 million players since Battle Royale launched.
It's crazy. And
Epic made many, many jokes about this player count, but specifically the highlight of them was that is the entire population of Sweden.
Wow.
Isn't that impressive?
It is.
This news, by the way, comes courtesy of Reese Buggets-Chew. Killing it on nerdmuch.com week in and week out.
Quite active in the Discord sometimes.
Yeah, Reese is awesome. I mean, seriously, I'm amazed every time I go to Nerdmuch how much is covered, and I'm pretty sure Reese does most of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
which is awesome. But that's incredible for Fortnite, and I can understand why Bluehole, I don't know whether to call them Bluehole anymore or PUBG Corp, because I keep seeing different names in the headlines. But I can see now why they were a little frustrated, because Fortnite straight up beat them to consoles, and their play. I think last I heard PUBG was at 15 million, or is it 12 million?
I'm not sure.
Somewhere around that number. Now, PUBG is still very popular. I don't think it's going to have any problems at all. Even when it goes to console, I still think it's going to be astronomically successful. Mm-hmm. But I can see now why they were concerned. I mean, Fortnite is like right under PUBG at this point because they're on all platforms.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they were concerned. I know I mentioned that last week, but it's just, again, this number has gone up. So we'll see what it's like next week. Maybe they'll be at 12 million. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
We'll see.
It's just interesting seeing how all this is playing out.
Right.
Every week there's like a new story about one of these games having like beef with the other.
Right.
Or it's usually PUBG having beef, but you know.
What was I going to say? I was going to say, this is random. I was disappointed I won't have a chance to play the free weekend of Ghost Recon Wildlands because obviously I'm traveling too much, but I wanted to play that so bad. I really wanted to try Ghost War.
What a bummer.
Yeah, because I think that mode looks awesome. Mm-hmm. I don't know when I'm going to pick that up because I've, again, so many things to catch up on, but I really do genuinely want to play that game. I don't know what came over me. I think I just saw that mode and I was like, that looks so cool. And I liked the beta or whatever we played, the demo, whatever it was. I liked it just enough to be like, I can see myself really getting into this at some point. So I really want to give that a shot when I can.
I will never play that game.
Why not?
Because there are much better games out there that I would rather play.
Yeah, they're arguably much better games, but then again, this is a certain kind of game.
just as every other game is a certain kind of game.
Right. I'm saying like if it let's do this as an example. What's a game that you're more interested in playing than Ghost Recon right now?
Overwatch.
Okay. So Overwatch. Okay, so Overwatch is a hero-based shooter where Ghost Recon is an open world stealth action game with your friends.
I think you're right.
Two entirely different things. So one might be like, well, I think Ghost War is better. And some I keep saying Ghost War. Ghost Recon. I think Ghost War is the mode.
Yeah.
And some of them say, well, I think Overwatch is better. So I think if there were two, like Fortnite and PUBG, those are like exactly the same thing, games that are very similar. I can see why that would I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. I'm so tired, Jacob.
What are you striving to?
It's just like there's so many different things to play that it's kind of hard to say what's really better.
That's what I'm saying. Like I have other kind of games that I want to play more than that kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not a huge Ubisoft fan anymore. So
that's the thing about Ubisoft is that they're really surprising me lately. I mean,
it's like their games are selling. Like for me, I think
Mario Rabbids is. I haven't played it, but everyone says it's awesome. Rainbow Six.
I thought you had played it.
I didn't get to play it. No, I did the video review for it. I didn't review the game. I just did the video version. But that's killing it. Rainbow Six Siege is killing it. Ghost Recon is sold. I think so far this year, Ghost Recon has sold the most out of.
That might have changed.
Full-fledged. I know PUBG is, and they consider it early access, so they don't necessarily count it. But I wonder
if Destiny 2 is outsold yet.
I don't know if it has, because remember we were looking at a headline before we started this podcast that Destiny's physical sales, we don't know the digital sales, but physically Destiny 2 has sold 50% less copies than Destiny 1 did.
How much did Destiny 1 sell?
I mean, Destiny 1 was a pretty huge success.
What's like the time period where they're calculating that?
I don't know. I don't really know. That's the thing. I think we would really know if they can combine the digital and physical sales. But as of right now, at least what I read, that Destiny's physical sales are down by 50%, which is kind of shocking.
I would still imagine it's above.
Because my version's digital. I don't know how many people downloaded Destiny versus picking up a physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I bought a retail.
Okay. I want to see those statistics to see if it has sold way better digitally than it has physically.
Yeah. Plus, there's the PC release too. So.
Yes. Just over the horizon.
Yep. You
still have plans to pick that up?
I will. Whether or not I get it on launch is another story. I haven't decided yet. So, because I'm pretty sure we looked up that it was the same day as like Mario, Wolfenstein, and Assassin's Creed. So, might be kind of rough to do so.
Oh, no doubt. I'd much rather play Mario, if I'm being honest, and Wolfenstein.
I'm gonna wait on Wolfenstein. I think I'm just gonna focus on Mario.
Okay. I get that.
That's what I want to play most.
Mario will be my on-the-go game for the most part, and Wolfenstein will be my at-home game. Now, when I finish Wolfenstein, I'm going to play the crap out of Mario on the big screen. But Switch, man, God bless it.
Yeah. I've said this before, but I'm a one-man kind of game. And
You're a one-man kind of game?
I'm just going to stick to one narrative game, then I'm going to play my multiplayer game.
So you're a one-man kind of game or a one-game kind of man?
One game kind of man.
Okay. That's what I thought you meant.
Or it could be a one-man kind of game.
Yeah. Are you a game, Jacob?
I could be.
I would play you if you were a game.
Yeah.
So.
Where would you play me at? Garrett, tell me.
I'd play you all over the place, Jacob.
Yeah?
I'd play you at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Play you in my car. Play you in my bed late at night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Play with you all kinds of ways, Jacob.
What's next?
What we're going to talk about. Oh, that reminds me. We have a community question that's related to PUBG type games. I'm going to go ahead and read it now.
Okay.
It's from, let me find it, Zero Shadow Fox. He says, do you guys think a game mode like PUBG will be in The Last of Us 2 multiplayer if it has multiplayer? I feel like it will fit in perfectly. I don't think that 100 player count is needed, but the crafting system and picking up equipment was there in the first Last of Us. To me, it just makes sense. Now, I think we may have said this in the podcast recently. Press and I have talked about this briefly off the podcast, I know, but I've always thought that The Last of Us could potentially benefit from a game mode like PUBG. Not to that scale necessarily. Like, I think 100 players in Last of Us would be absolutely ridiculous. But let's say like 30 players, like maybe 15 on 15. Even if it was team-based, I don't know, but it's maybe a free-for-all, 30 people on like a smaller map, Last of Us style. I think it'd be kind of cool, especially with the crafting, like you mentioned, especially because it's survival horror in many ways. I mean, that's not all it is, but it definitely has that element.
Yeah, I get like the whole, like, the game itself takes place in that kind of climate, I guess, where everyone's just trying to kill each other. So it would make sense to have that kind of game.
Yeah, I think, especially the way The Last of Us feels, I think that could be so much fun if they had a mode like that.
I'd rather Last of Us just have no multiplayer. if I'm being honest.
I love The Last of Us 1's multiplayer.
I don't think it's fun at all.
Dude, me and Preston loved it because it's just so tactical and so team-based.
Mm-hmm.
And so unique, too, because it's, very much encourages stealth. Yeah. The crafting was always unique as well.
Yeah, my multiplayer, it's typically just first-person shooter. I don't like to stray from that.
Okay.
It's not that I don't appreciate those games. It's just I find myself not having as much fun. So I want to be having fun when I play games, Garrett.
Well, as do I, Jacob. I would hate for you to play something you don't enjoy. So I encourage that. That's fine.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would like to see a game mode like that. I don't know if they'll do it because I'm sure Naughty Dog doesn't want to be that company that's like, you copied PUBG. I'm sure that's the last thing Naughty Dog wants to be associated with. Point. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm totally open to it, though. I'd love that.
Yeah, I could see it happening for sure.
Certainly. Jacob, you and I have both seen the Horizon, the Frozen Wilds environment trailer.
Yep.
Does it get you excited for the DLC?
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. I kind of wanted like a
story trailer,
action trailer or something. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure we'll get that like a launch trailer for the DLC eventually.
Maybe, yeah.
But I did like the taste of the environments. It's very much the Frozen Wilds. Everything's frozen.
I think you mentioned this as you were watching it because I was listening in the background, but the music is just great. I love Horizon's music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just very excited to return to that world and see all the robotic creatures. Mm-hmm. Tame them, of course, bring them down, and just how good that game feels, looks, and sounds. Yeah. I cannot wait to return to it.
I'm kind of excited to just get back into it and start using all those bows and all the different weapons that she has, and just scanning the enemies, blurring their weaknesses, taking them down. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, still as of this moment, I've yet to play Evil Within. I've yet to play Mario. I've yet to play Wolfenstein and Call of Duty, Star Wars. Not saying that any of those will be Game of the Year, but a lot of great games over the horizon. So, but as of right now, Horizon's still my Game of the Year.
Also, South Park's coming out next week.
I thought it was already out.
Nope.
Is it out this week? Oh, I'm thinking of someone at Cog is reviewing it.
Is it coming out tomorrow when this goes up, or
does it come out Tuesday?
I think it's Tuesday.
Okay.
Then at the end of the week is Fire Emblem Warriors, because Nintendo does Fridays.
That's right. I love Friday releases.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's cool.
Unfortunately, I work like all Fridays. So
does Mario come out on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means Wolfenstein does too.
I guess so. Yeah.
I know Wolfenstein or Bethesda has done Friday releases in the past a few times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Fallout may have been on. No, Fallout wasn't on a Friday when it came out. It was a Tuesday.
That means Creed's coming out on a Friday then.
Creed? Oh, Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm thinking of Ubisoft. I don't know. Not that it even matters. But I'm excited for Horizon. I think that trailer looks very nice. So I'm excited to explore that area.
Agreed.
Jacob, there's a ton of new PSVR games coming that I had no clue about. And it gets me excited and reassures my purchase of PSVR. Not that I'd ever regret that because I've had some amazing experiences in PlayStation VR. But I was under the assumption that PSVR was dwindling very slowly, especially after I think it was Andrew House or someone said that...
who's now gone.
Yeah, that they were nervous about PlayStation VR being like the top VR component right now or something, just because it was so accessible by so many players. I mean, obviously, so many PlayStation 4s have been sold, but they were kind of nervous about that. And I was wondering, was VR even going to survive? I mean, I've seen trailers trickling in here and there for VR games. I just don't really pay attention to them. But I've listed... I have a quote from PlayStation themselves, too, but listed a few VR games that I'm personally excited about. And I'm sure others in the comments will share some that they're excited about if they have PlayStation VR. This one comes from, what's her name? Mary Yee of PlayStation Marketing. She says, PlayStation VR launched exactly 1 year ago today. Now, this is written several days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And it's already delivered well over 100 unique experiences, ranging from delightful to horrifying. You and I can vouch for that, Jacob. And just about everything in between. As we celebrate PlayStation VR's first birthday, we wanted to give you a peek behind the curtain. Below you'll find a list of all the games currently announced to be coming to the platform through the end of the year and into early 2018. Now, there was countless games on here, and it's actually surprising how many games are on there. But I listed some of the ones that I'm very excited for, Jacob. In 2017, still to come, we have Bravo Team, which also utilizes the PlayStation VR aim controller, which I think you and I should dabble in that for sure. I think our VR Let's Plays are so fun.
Okay.
So we should try that one. Also, like I mentioned, I want to try that Visage game or whatever it's called, that horror game. Doom VFR, very excited for that one. I heard that one's excellent. So that'd be cool.
I haven't watched any gameplay, so...
I've seen a wee bit. I've just for people that have played it, says it feels really good. Gran Turismo Sport. I don't know if I'll play that game at all, but that intrigues me a bit because I always told myself I want to give another racing game a shot. Now, I don't play Forza for obvious reasons. I mean, hashtag not fanboys, but it's quite an effort to go back to the footstool to play a racing game. As good as that game looks and feels, I may or may not give Gran Turismo a sport eventually, but to play it in VR, I think would be pretty cool.
That game's also coming out tomorrow.
Gran Turismo?
Yes.
It's that soon.
Yes.
At long last, man. I feel like we've been hearing about Gran Turismo for so long. I mean, at this point, same thing with South Park. I thought that game was never going to come out.
Yeah, and here it is.
Finally.
I don't know when I'm going to get to South Park. Maybe this December.
It won't be till next year for me, for sure.
It's a shame because I do really want to play it, but
it looks awesome.
Yeah.
So, Moss is also coming with a little mouse.
Yeah.
That game looks fantastic.
That's like the one VR game that's kind of stood out to me as being like, that looks kind of charming and interesting.
Yeah, everyone who played it at E3 said it was wonderful. So I'm excited to give it a shot myself.
That's a game I'd like to actually experience.
Absolutely. Perhaps we'll play it together, Jacob.
Yeah, I'd like that.
This one I actually kept the description for because I thought it sounded so funny that I had to share it with everyone. If you haven't already heard about Pixel Junk VR, this is the description. Oh, actually, the full title is Pixel Junk VR Dead Hungry. So, it says, it's well known that zombies are always on the hunt for human flesh, but that's only because they don't know how to cook a juicy burger and whip up a frosty shake on their own. As a fearless food truck cook, you'll need to use your kitchen magic to save the world from disaster and distract the incoming zombie horde with nutritious noms. So, the image, the screenshot I saw from the game looks a lot like Job Simulator when you're in the kitchen. Yeah. You have like the hands that you can like manipulate the kitchen and everything. But in front of you were these stacks of burger ingredients. And it looks like these zombies are flying at this food truck. And I think you're on a timer to create all these different
meals,
yeah, essentially for these zombies to feed them so they don't take over the world. You're essentially distracting them from eating
and
humans.
They're satisfied after they eat them.
Exactly, but I thought that sounded, just that idea alone sounds so funny, but I can imagine you and I trying to rush meals together in time to defend the world from this zombie apocalypse.
Is it a 2-player game?
It's not 2-player, but I was thinking we could take an approach like we did with Job Simulator, where I think I did kitchen and you did Casey did store clerk. What did you do? You did office. Yeah, that was great. We never did Garage. Maybe one day we'll do Garage. I still think that's an awesome game.
It is fun.
So, but yeah, all those VR games look really awesome. Also, Skyrim VR. Now, everyone who's played Skyrim VR says it just isn't very good, but I have such high hopes for that I just have to try it myself and draw my own opinion. Because everyone who's played is like, it just feels weird. I need to be able to say that myself without just taking people's word for it. Okay. Maybe it'll feel amazing to me. Maybe I'm just a weirdo.
Is it a $60 game?
I don't think so.
Is it like a shorter experience or something?
That's a full-on game.
It's the full game?
I'm pretty sure it's the full game. I could be wrong, but I'm under the assumption that it's the full game in VR. So, just people say the weird teleporting thing is strange in Skyrim. I'm pretty sure you can turn it into free flow mode, but everyone still gets so sick when they do that, and I'm one of them. I mean, I nearly throw up on the instant I start running around freely in VR.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know why it's so nausea-inducing. It's intense. But that's exciting. As a PlayStation VR owner, Jacob, I'm excited. Hopefully we can do some awesome videos with these games in the future if you're up for it.
You need to get some more use out of your VR headset.
I agree. I don't play it enough. I will say you and I haven't been on camera together in a while, and I'd love to do something with you.
Yeah, I haven't been on camera in a while besides the podcast.
I think you and I should do a Mario Odyssey Let's Play together, like a standard like gameplay impressions, just enjoying the greatness that is Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
Together.
We should. I should bring over Fire Emblem Warriors too, and we should do a video on that.
We absolutely should, Jacob.
Because I'm probably going to pick that up Friday. Because I've been watching some gameplay, dude. It looks fun.
Maybe you should send some my way and try to convince me to play it.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that.
Who am I kidding, Jacob? I don't have time. EA has responded to the Battlefield loot box situation, Jacob. It's quite interesting. This comes from Mario Brash of COD Connected, and all this information does, but this is specifically from EA. They say... Actually, let me ask you this before I continue. How do you feel about the loot box system in Star Wars?
I think it's complete bullshit, if I'm being honest. Because unless you're just going to be playing this game nonstop for many hours, and while you're doing that, you're going to be at a disadvantage already. Because people are going to be buying all these star cards and just leveling up their different cards to the max ranks, and they're just going to be doing things much better than you and more efficiently. So in those terms, it's very frustrating.
Unless you're a total badass and you vanquish everyone despite their star cards.
Yeah, but if I'm being completely honest, it's kind of made me question whether I want to get the game or not.
Really? You're that passionate about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you don't play that much Star Wars multiplayer anyway, do you?
That's the thing. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I won't even get it release day. I'll just wait and see what happens.
I'm picking it up release day because I'm very excited for the canon campaign.
Yeah, that's really what I want to experience is the campaign. I can do without the multiplayer.
Right. I mean, I really enjoyed the beta. It's funny because when we discussed the beta last week on the podcast, truthfully, I had no idea there were loot boxes even in the game until people were like, what about the loot boxes? Like, what loot boxes? And then I started seeing all the articles trickle in, people complaining about everything. And I was like, this phenomenon. And so I looked into it for myself and actually went back into the game and explored them a bit. And it's just like everyone's saying, you do get gameplay advantages over certain players depending on how much money you spend to acquire these loot boxes. I think the craziest one I heard about, which I experienced firsthand, I was so confused when this happened, that Boba Fett has an ability, I don't know if they'll change this, where he can essentially be totally invincible while firing rockets while he's in midair with his jetpack. Which is so stupid. What's the point of that? It's like totally unfair to everyone trying to shoot at him. And I thought I was crazy because when I was playing multiplayer, Boba Fett had his back turned to me, but he was flying around and I was nailing him, dude. Now, of course, heroes take longer to kill, but I was doing no damage. I was hitting him over and over and over and over again. I was like, what on earth is happening? Is this a glitch? And I read later that he's actually invincible when he's doing that. So I'm like, whose idea was that? That's so stupid. It's little things like that. I mean, I think I unlocked multiple Han Solo abilities in one of my loot boxes. Unlocked some kind of special pistol for my First Order trooper or clone trooper or something. So I've never been a fan. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm sure everyone on the internet that listens to this podcast, I know many of you listen to other gaming podcasts like we do. Everyone's talking about this. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I'm like many others out there. I think loot boxes for at least multiplayer games should purely be cosmetic type stuff. Because I mean, I miss the glory days, and I always compare it to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the original version, where you earned everything. You earned every skin. You earned every weapon attachment. You had to complete all those in-game challenges, which always makes it more fun because you're working towards something in the game. And just to know that you can skip out on things and just pay for it. I mean, I get... It's a hard conversation to have because I get there are people that are like, I don't really want to earn everything. I just want to pay for it because I don't have a lot of time. I mean, I arguably should be the person that's like, I like loot boxes because I don't have time to play the game anyway. Like, you'd think that'd be appealing to me, but it's still not, even though I don't have the time to play games as much as I'd like to. So I know I'm not the only one when I say this. I mean, countless gamers are saying they prefer in-game challenges versus being able to pay your way to essentially win. I know that's such an overused term, pay to win, but Star Wars, as of right now, based on the beta experience, is leaning that way, which is so disappointing, because if it's just a good old-fashioned shooter, have loot boxes if you want them, but have them be ridiculous.
Yeah, why can't they just be like camos for weapons or something?
Yeah, weapon camos, and
there's like subtle weapon camos or skins for all the different heroes.
Right,
like,
yeah, it's different skins. Like Luke Skywalker, you can have his Hoth uniform, you can have his A New Hope outfit. You could have, of course, Return of the Jedi. You could have his X-Wing pilot suit. Same thing for Kylo Ren. You could have him helmet. You could have him no helmet. You could have him with his Last Jedi outfit. I know that's already an option in the game. Just for all the heroes have multiple, and maybe Boba Fett goes like helmetless or something in one of his outfits, or maybe if Jango's in there.
You're talking crazy now.
It's a little crazy, but maybe Boba Fett has like an alternate camo on his armor.
Maybe he has like a Jango Fett skin.
Yeah, that'd be something like that. It'd be totally simple and cool. So I wish it would just be stuff like that. And you could even though I think this would be ridiculous for Star Wars, you can even go crazy with it. Like give stormtroopers like a bright pink skin for all I care. Just like,
I don't know if I want them to do
running
that. It kind of
breaks
the immersion of Star Wars.
Exactly. See, I don't know if I'd want that, but this loot box system seems so ridiculous that I almost feel like I'd rather have something that stupid in comparison.
That's the thing though. Like I feel like it's very challenging for Star Wars because you don't have that freedom just to go out and make ridiculous things like you could in like Overwatch or something.
Right.
So
you are limited. It's funny because like
why does EA feel like they have to put fucking microtransactions in every game they make now?
It's because they make so much money, dude. Did you read about last year? It's insane how much money they
Blizzard
make.
made so much money on
I mean, Preston and I were talking. I don't even think it sucks. I mean, I get why everyone's angry, but in a lot of ways, I can't blame them at all. I mean, I'm not a sleazy businessman, but if I was making, and this is just one year I heard about from last year, if I made $1 billion off of extra content,
$1 billion?
I mean, $1.8 billion. Sorry, I'm very sleepy. 1.8. If I made that much money in 1 year off of extra content, I don't care who hated me. I don't care who was frustrated or voicing their opinion. I would not care, dude. If I'm making that much money, I'd be like, I don't care what any of you think. I'm going to make the money because everyone's paying for it. Mm-hmm. That's the challenge, that there are so many people vocal about their distaste for it. But at the same time, there's that silent majority, it seems.
The sales aren't,
reflecting the outcry. Yeah. Exactly. So people are still buying them, man. So
yeah, the only game I really buy loot boxes in are Overwatch.
Yeah, guilty as charged, man. I think I mentioned that in the Star Wars video I did for COG. I was like, I'll be the first to admit I've given a lot of money to Blizzard for Overwatch skins, but at the end of the day,
dude, I've given.
You've given way more, but even myself, I spent. I know you spent way more than this. At least I've spent $150 myself,
really?
which to me is a lot of money. But
are you counting like the game too, or just loot boxes? Wow, okay.
So and again, though, those are just cosmetics. So if it was affecting gameplay, I'd feel differently about it, and I wouldn't spend as much money. But, something about Overwatch, I got to have those skins.
I think almost every event I've bought at least like 30 boxes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it's a crazy conversation to have. And there's so many different, essentially, layers to the conversation. There's so many different points to argue that it's kind of like a wildfire of opinions.
Yeah, so. I guess to summarize, I don't like this at all. I don't know how I'm gonna react to it.
Here's the thing: even in the beta, I know it's very limited as far as the content's concerned, but I never once felt like someone had an advantage over me in terms of gameplay. Mm-hmm. Or maybe on PC they did, and I didn't realize it because I was getting my ass kicked on PC. And it wasn't because I couldn't aim, because I could shoot people fine.
Yeah, I was just getting killed
so much on PC.
I was getting shot at multiple directions, so I couldn't really defend myself. But when I was in one-on-one fights, I felt really good on the mouse and keyboard playing Battlefront.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I in the beta, I didn't feel like someone had an advantage over me, but just from what I've seen and what I've read, it seems like that could be a potential disaster in the full game. Mm-hmm. But after all that being said, Jacob, here's how EA responded to everyone's outcry following the beta. They say, there are many things you can earn in the game, including weapons, attachments, credits, star cards, emotes, outfits, and victory poses. As a balanced goal, we're working towards having the most powerful items in the game only earnable via in-game achievements. I already like the sound of that, Jacob. Crates will include a mix of star cards, outfits, emotes, or victory poses. Players earn crates by completing challenges and other gameplay milestones, or by purchasing them with the in-game credits or crystals, or premium currency. If you get a duplicate star card in a crate, you will get crafting parts which you can then use to help upgrade the star card of your choice. And lastly, you have to earn the right to be able to upgrade star cards and unlock most weapons. You can only upgrade or unlock them if you have reached a high enough rank, which is determined by playing the game. Now, they mentioned you get crafting parts for duplicate star cards. It kind of reminds me of when you get duplicates in Overwatch, you just get a small amount of currency. Yeah. And I know they've altered that a bit since the last time I played, but I had so many duplicates in Overwatch, and I still felt like the currency never added up at all for me. So, and I heard a lot of people saying that crafting parts are so few and far between in Battlefront is why they're so worried about people paying a lot of money for these loot crates, because it takes so long to upgrade your star cards and stuff.
I found that.
So I don't know, man. I don't even think EA cares about damage control. They're probably like, someone say something to try to get people to shut up. I think at the end of the day, they still just don't care. Yeah. One, it's Star Wars. It's going to sell very well. I mean, it may not sell as well. I mean, maybe some people will be true to the word and say, I'm not going to play it because of these loot boxes. And mad respect to those people. I don't have that amount of self-control because I have to play that campaign. But game's still going to sell very well. We'll see how the loot box turnaround comes when the game launches to see how much money they make. So let's see if people are actually true to their word. Yeah. I'm not going to purchase any. I mean, the only game I've ever purchased loot boxes in before is Overwatch, so I have no plans to indulge.
Here's a fun thing for the comments below. So Shadow of War is also having a discussion about their loot boxes and whatnot with microtransactions.
And for being honest, a lot of games are having this going on right now.
But I feel like Shadow of War and then
Star Wars are the two big ones right now.
Me and Garrett haven't played Shadow of War. I'm pretty sure you haven't, right?
No. Preston's played a lot of it, though.
Okay. Let us know below, because I know the game was kind of balanced around not buying the loot boxes, but I'm kind of curious as to how like easy the game becomes if you do start buying a lot of weapons and whatnot, or loot boxes for Shadow of War. I wonder if that like makes the skill of the game like way too easy or whatnot. Because I haven't touched this game, so I have no idea.
It seems like reviewers across the board, at least major media outlets, have all said that the loot boxes really don't make that much of a difference. Now, I've heard other people say this is a massive rumor. I still haven't heard anyone confirm this, but they've said that the real, true, good ending of the game is locked within a loot box and you have to pay for it or something. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that rumor floating around from multiple outlets.
See, that's a problem.
That would be a major problem. I don't know why on earth they would do something that stupid. But I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay.
I've just heard that floating around.
Let's move on.
Let's do so. IGN bought Humble Bumble. Humble Bundle, Jacob. It's an interesting business transaction here. I don't really have much of an opinion on this. I just thought it was interesting considering just how big IGN's becoming. I mean, I like I mentioned before we started the episode, I cannot escape IGN. Everywhere I go, they're on social media. Even if I'm not following them on social media, people either retweeting something they've done or I see they're really killing it with video clips, like those really annoying Facebook videos that have the writing on top and bottom of the frame, or say like when you're I can't even give a good example because they're so stupid, like clowns be like, and they have like some stupid video. They have a ton of videos like that online, and I see them all over the place, and I'm not even following them on anything. So
I follow them on Twitter.
I know our It's Obvious account follows them for the sake of news stuff, but my personal account, I don't follow them, and I still see a ton of stuff trickling in from IGN. But that, not only that, but they have like the Disney Channel show now, and now they've bought Humble Bundle. And I think I heard on Games Daily, I don't know if this is a joke, but Tim Getty says they're talking about trying to get into movie production or something. So I don't know what it is they're trying to do over there, but IGN's clearly, I mean, everyone knows this, they're huge, but they're very much becoming a media empire at this point. I mean, every event I go to, IGN is like the thing. Like everyone's like, whoever's there representing IGN, everyone just swarms to them the entire time.
They are the biggest.
They are clear. I mean, they're so big that everyone else looks like ants compared to them. So I always feel very intimidated by the IGN people. It's like, because there's so many people trying to talk to them. I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, I've seen you on IGN and stuff, just for the sake of networking. I guess.
Who do you work for?
Right. Most of the times I say COG Connect, everyone's like, who? Every now and then someone will know who COG Connected is, but more often than not, they don't know what I'm talking about. But that's just funny.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could read about it, but long story short, the founders of Humble Bundle said that they chose IGN in terms of obviously financially, but apparently their goals align as far as the not only the brand of Humble Bundle, but the mission as far as, supporting the indie games and the charity aspect of it as well, all really coincides well. And they claim that IGN has no plans to alter it in any way, shape, or form. They just want to help push that message further and give them as much support as possible to help it grow even quicker.
Okay.
So that was just an interesting headline when I read that, because I never thought I'd see IGN bought something else.
Yeah, me either.
So it's like, that's pretty crazy. So interesting story, Jacob.
Yeah.
Lastly, the voice actor or a pretty prestigious voice actor, I don't know his name, from Black Ops 1 and 2 has teased a potential Black Ops 4, Jacob.
Oh, man.
First of all, before we even go into what we'd like to see in Black Ops 4, are you open to a Black Ops 4, or would you like to see Treyarch go in a completely different direction with their next Call of Duty?
I want a modern Black Ops 4.
Okay, that's what Preston said, and I agree with him.
Because the Black Ops series is my personal favorite of the Call of Duties, by a long shot.
Okay.
And I don't know how it would work in terms of like the storyline for Black Ops. I know they kind of jump around. They're not really like... Black Ops has never had the best campaigns. I know you said like the first one. I love
Black
decent.
Ops 1. Even Black Ops 2 is pretty good.
See, like I don't remember them at all. Okay. So, like I don't think any of the Call of Duty campaigns, aside from like Infinite Warfare, have really stuck with me. So, but what were we talking about? I had a total brain fart. Yeah, I definitely want Black Ops 4.
Okay.
How do you feel about it?
I think it makes sense if they go modern day. And Preston said the same thing, because it would bridge the gap between Black Ops 1, which is Vietnam, and then it jumps all the way to the future in Black Ops 2, and then it goes even further into the future in Black Ops 3. I'm kind of done with the future stuff now. I don't hate it, but I just would rather them do something else. So I think modern would bridge that gap, because we have Vietnam in the future. Modern would fill that gap.
I don't think they're going to do any of this crazy wall running and jumping thing for a long time if they do it again.
I certainly hope not.
I think they're going to stick to a lot of modern
I saw the
shooters.
best comparison. It was either Racevic. No, it wasn't Racevic. It was, I think his name's Faven. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's F-A-Y-N or F-A-Y-V-N is how he spells it or something.
Okay.
Similar to Racevic, but he did an amazing analysis that never considered how pointless the wall running is in Call of Duty. And I'm not good at explaining it. That's why I don't do videos like that. But he said how Titanfall... And he shows it visually and explains it perfectly why it works in Titanfall and why it doesn't in Call of Duty. And it really has to do with like how limited you are as far as the map design of Call of Duty, especially Black Ops 3. Or not Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare specifically with the wall running. He included Black Ops 3, but it was mostly about Infinite Warfare. And I was like, that I totally get why, even with wall running as cool as I think that is, why it never quite felt right in Call of Duty. And now I understood it. So I hope they just stray away from that. It just doesn't work in Call of Duty at all. But modern, just aesthetically, I'd love that. I mean, I love Modern Warfare Remastered. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually did Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, and that's a different story. But Black Ops, as far as narrative is concerned and presentation, I'd love to see modern as well. So I'm glad we agree on that, Jacob.
Yeah.
I don't think you and I ever find anything to argue about on this podcast.
We don't, yeah.
It's challenging.
We have very similar...
it seems like successful podcasts have at least one person that argues with someone else. And you and I, man, I think it's probably why we're in love and best friends, you know?
Yeah,
so
I know, dude.
It's weird to think two of our closest friends are going to be married soon.
Yes.
Preston and Zach both.
It's crazy.
And here we are. Two single men.
Yep. I'm not even close to being married.
I'm just kidding. I'm still with Casey.
Oh, yeah. You are with Casey.
Yeah. But again, we have no intention of getting married anytime soon. If we ever did, I'm not even exaggerating, it'd be at least a decade from now. That's how uninterested we are in marriage at this time.
Speak for yourself.
You know, you want to get married soon?
I would like to get married one day.
One day. Now, if you in a perfect
Maybe
world,
it's sooner than a decade. I don't know.
Yeah, in a perfect world, would you like to be married sooner or later?
What's sooner?
Within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think towards the latter of 5 years, I'd be looking to settle down around that time.
Okay. Cool. I'm amazed because Preston, at one point a few years ago, was like, I want to be married before I'm 25. And I don't know if he's going to stick to this part. He's like, but I want to have kids before I'm 26 or something like that. And so far, he's married before 25. Yeah. We'll see if he's true to his word as far as the kids are concerned.
That would be insane if he's having kids that early.
Can you imagine?
That's really not early, I guess.
I mean, my parents had me my dad was 23. So, I mean, they were married. My dad was 23. And it seems like a lot of people I know, parents had them when they were pretty much younger, and they got married younger as well.
My parents were close to 30, I think.
When they had you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't want children anytime soon either. I have nothing against kids. I think kids are awesome. I know I'm not ready to be a father anytime soon. I don't want children
for a long time.
I want to be at least, I'm saying at the very least, 5 years into whatever career I establish coming out of school.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll be ready to have a child.
Yeah.
So also, that is such, I mean, that's the rest of your life you're talking about.
Yeah. There's no more video games. Like, you better.
I mean, there could be. I mean,
very limited.
I see a lot. I've heard of dads playing a lot of video games because their kids are into video games as well, and it really works out.
When they're young, though, you're done.
Yes, that's the thing. My parents let me play video games. That's how my love for them grew. Now, if I imagine...
No, I'm talking about when you're an infant. Like, you have no time for anything.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I've witnessed that firsthand. Chris from our old band, when he had his first daughter, he completely dropped off. He didn't play anything for, I think, a couple years. So, I don't know, man. That's another thing that kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
But I imagine if I had a child, of course, I'd want to take care of it to the best of my ability. I've heard your mindset and your whole life alters when you have a kid. So
your priorities are completely shifted.
And I can't relate to that because I haven't had a child.
Right.
So this is the most random discussion. I don't even know what we're talking about. This Black Ops 4, man. Getting married and having kids. That's what I want. Jacob, that brings us to the topic of the day. No, it doesn't.
Why not?
I have a community question.
Why not?
Community question from Josh Scriber that has to do with Call of Duty. Thought it made sense to include it here. He says, hey guys, hope you're doing well as always. In honor of Call of Duty World War II coming soon, if you could only save one Call of Duty game from extinction, which would you pick? I'd pick Modern Warfare 3 because the campaign was epic, even a little realistic, and they broke that mold with survival mode. By the way, love Shadow of War, hashtag AskIOG, hashtag might be a fanboy.
Okay, thank you.
Which one would you save from extinction? In other words, which one's your favorite?
Black Ops 2, baby.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that several times. What did I say?
Don't you like COD 4 the most?
Probably. I think I've said COD 4. Yeah, that's just embedded into me forever.
Too old.
Modern Warfare 2's up there, and I love Black Ops 2, but original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare will do it for me. Campaign, if I had to pick a campaign in a multiplayer, it'd be original Call of Duty 4 multiplayer and Infinite Warfare's campaign. Now, that's not to say Modern Warfare's campaign's also phenomenal. Not my favorite anymore, but it's a great one. Yep. Jacob, that brings us to the main topic of the show. Now, riddle me this. Will Nintendo conquer the holiday season, Jacob?
In terms of what, console sales? Are we talking about
I'm talking
games
everything,
sold?
man. I'm talking Switch sales. I'm talking Mario sales. Nintendo sales in general, as far as their software and hardware is considered. Or, is that the word I'm looking for? I'm so tired.
I think.
SNES Classics are on the market. I mean, they're sold out currently, those, but we've heard more shipments are coming, and they've been more accessible than NES Classic was. I could have gotten one on launch day, but I was very lazy about it. I don't know why I was so lazy, but of course, as soon as I found out they were sold out, that's when I wanted one. Mm-hmm. But when they were available, I was like, oh, I'll get one later. I don't need one. And then as soon as they sold out, I really wanted one. I'm not dying to have one. I could live without one, but if one's available, I will purchase it.
Okay. I have no desire to get one, just because I never had that tying to those consoles.
I'd love to have it.
It'd be cool to play the games, but I can do without.
Yeah. But let's talk about it a bit, because earlier you were talking about Xenoblade and Fire Emblem, correct?
Yeah, I'm super excited lately. I've just been watching a ton of gameplay trailers for all the announced Switch games coming out this fall and winter, and just the hype's been building astronomically in my mind for all these games coming to Switch, because it's such a cool console. I love it. Like I said earlier, I would just jump back into Zelda, and I'm really enjoying the Switch. And I brought a Pro controller literally this last weekend that passed by. So, I'm ready to start playing some games with my Pro controller.
Okay. Before I forget, Jacob, I want to alter the title again. I know I've altered it several times.
Okay.
I don't want to say, will they conquer the holiday season? I want to say, will they dominate the holiday season?
Okay.
Will Nintendo dominate the holiday season?
I think they will.
Now, I don't want to consider just software sales, because obviously PlayStation has a far greater player base, and even Xbox at this point, but Switch has sold very well. So I want to consider, of course, game sales and hardware sales. And I want to consider SNES Classic, Switch, and all the games, of course, specifically exclusives, because if I'm not mistaken, PlayStation nor Xbox are having any exclusives this holiday season. Am I wrong in saying
Xbox
that?
had Forza, they had Cuphead.
I'm thinking like holiday specifically.
I don't think so. I mean, we got Horizon DLC.
Unless PUBG surprisingly comes to Xbox before the year ends, I don't know.
Gran Turismo tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But I mean, I would consider holiday like November and onward.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything.
So, which
hasn't really hurt PlayStation for sure.
No, I'm not saying the other two will be hurt. I'm just wondering, will Nintendo be like the talk of the town this holiday season?
It could be. I mean, Call of Duty always sells the most every year. So if we're just talking about game sales, I don't think they're going to win that race. But
yeah,
especially since there's a lot less Switches out there for like something like Mario Odyssey. It's not going to sell nearly as many.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you saw the attach rate from like Zelda for every Switch, or like, well, there were more Zelda copies sold than Switches out there because it was on the Wii U as well. But I have a very strong feeling that Mario is going to be pretty similar to the attach rate of what Zelda was.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think Odyssey is going to outsell Breath of the Wild?
God, I think it might.
You think so? Because remember,
I think it will.
At least at the time when Breath of the Wild first launched, they had sold more copies of Breath of the Wild than they did Switches, because Switches were so few and far between. But the game was out, so people were buying the game at the very least.
I think just because it's Mario, it might. I think that would be the only game that could outsell Zelda.
I think it will. Maybe not very quickly, but I think over time it will.
I think maybe the only other thing that could is maybe like the Pokemon game coming out either next year or the year after. So
yeah, definitely.
But nothing has the recognition like Mario does.
I may or may not pick up Xenoblade or Fire Emblem just because I know nothing about either.
I would watch some gameplay for each one. Watch some trailers. Because they're both definitely... Well, Fire Emblem Warriors, it's not like regular Fire Emblem games. It's a hack and slash game. But like, it looks really awesome. You just have to watch gameplay. It got me excited, just all the different combos and abilities you can do. It's basically you're running through like areas and you're like killing hundreds of enemies at the same time, just like slashing them all at the same time. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And apparently there's a pretty nice narrative in it too.
Wonderful.
So
we can't forget. No, Project Octopath is until next year. That's
unfortunately that's another game I'm really pumped for.
Yeah.
And Xenoblade, it's an RPG. Mm-hmm. It's a JRPG.
Now we can't forget about ARMS or 1-2 Switch. You think those sales will pick up a bit in the holiday season, Jacob? I know that's what I want. I'd want Mario and ARMS especially.
I'm sure they'll all be up once people, excuse me. I think the Switch is going to be the hot Christmas item this year.
Of course, yeah. So absolutely.
Parents are going to be buying their kids all these Nintendo games.
Mm-hmm. So. Dude, if I was a little kid getting a Switch, but Mario as well on Christmas Day, I would freak out, dude. Imagine if you got both.
Yeah, dude.
Can you imagine, especially playing Zelda, and I've played a bit of Odyssey, so I already know I'm going to love it, dude. Mm-hmm. Holy crap, man. I'd probably die. Yeah. I'd probably have a heart attack as an 8-year-old.
Yeah, both of those, that's like 150 hours of gameplay right there.
Dude, I'm going to wake up smiling on Christmas Day knowing that there will be kids out there getting that for Christmas.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be a great day for those kiddies.
Yeah. I'm happy for them, man. That's going to be awesome.
Maybe one kid will be bad and get 1-2 Switch for his Christmas.
Right. Yeah, I meant to say, I don't want to hate too much on ARMS because I remember we played the ARMS open weekend or whatever it was. And
ARMS is fine.
Yeah, great. It had really solid reviews and I actually enjoyed the game. So
apparently it sold really well. Like, better than they thought it would.
Yeah, at least, better than they thought it would initially, so.
I hope there's not an ARMS sequel.
Yeah, but 1-2 Switch is certainly the sleeper hit of the year, if we're being honest.
Yeah. So sleeper game of the year?
Sleeper hit of the year.
I don't know.
So, I haven't played 1-2 Switch. Preston said he and his family played it for a while, and they just, at one point, they just looked at each other and they were like, all right, well, I guess that's that. And they put it down and never played it again.
I don't understand why there's not like a better Wii Sports for the Switch.
Yeah, those Joy-Cons, man, they can handle a lot.
Yeah, I feel like they have the same technology. I mean, maybe they don't. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It'd be cool if they made a new like Wii Sports game and called it like Switch Sports or something.
Yeah. Switch Sports.
I think it'd be fun. It sounds good. And Switch Sports kind of rolls off the tongue.
Kind of. You got anything else to add to this conversation?
And it's kind of hard. I thought this would go on longer.
Yeah.
They have 3 exclusives. Switch is awesome. That'll, of course, sell more. SNES Classic. Hopefully they have enough to satisfy the Christmas crowd, because I'm one of them. I'd love to acquire one by Christmas time.
You got to be on the lookout.
I will. I'll be a little more active this time. I won't be as lazy, so I can acquire one. Yeah. Will they dominate? I think, like I said, for the most part, yes. I'm not saying in total terms of sales.
Yes, they're going to dominate.
Of course, yeah.
I think they have been for the last several months. Maybe not. I mean, the Xbox One's going to dominate that month, I think, when the X comes out, maybe. Mm-hmm. But other than that,
I can't wait to see what the sales are like for the One X. Mm-hmm. I remember that the pre-orders sold out on the first day, if I'm not mistaken, for the One X. But in the long term, it'll be interesting to see how that sells. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe it'll be similar to PlayStation 4 Pro, because, I mean, Pro has sold well, but hasn't sold, of course, nearly as well as
you don't hear about
regular PlayStation 4. I think we heard once about them when they also bundled in PSVR sales at the time. Mm-hmm. And they said it was good. I mean, it wasn't phenomenal by any means.
I think they did like the first month. That was it.
Because I don't know if the One X will be a make or break for Xbox or not. I mean, it's very important that it sells well.
You mean like a break in terms of they jump out of the video game market?
I don't know if they jump out completely, but how detrimental it could potentially be depending on sales.
I think it's going to do fine.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
The console looks impressive.
It does, yeah. I mean, I've played it once when I played Assassin's Creed at whatchamacallit, PAX. Now, it was like checkered 4K for Assassin's Creed, but it still looked really, really good. And it felt good, too. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like I'd be a better use of my time to upgrade a PC rather than just buying a Xbox One X.
I'm with you there. I won't upgrade my PC for a long time. I'd love to, but I can't afford it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it very slowly. So, we won't be sitting anywhere near Preston for quite a while.
No. I don't think I'll ever have a PC that powerful.
Yeah.
I don't really have a reason to have a PC that powerful.
Yeah, he went way out of the way of this.
As long as I have a PC that runs the games I want to play, which it has very well so far, it's good enough for me. Now, I'd love the streams to look better. I mean, I may upgrade. I think RAM specifically was important for as far as streaming.
Yeah.
So even
we'll need to get that figured out.
Even altering my settings to a point where it should look a little better, it still looks a little grainy for my taste. So I'd like to improve that a bit over time. I think that's most important, at least for what I do.
Yeah. So, or just to get another PC to stream.
That sounds expensive, man.
Can be.
I can't afford it, Jacob. Nintendo, will they dominate? I think they will be, like I said, the talk of the town. Everyone's going to be talking about Nintendo.
Yeah. Nintendo's in a great spot right now.
They are.
Let's not Let's not forget that, Garrett.
In a very positive light, too. You don't really hear much negativity about Nintendo other than, the cables on the SNES and NES Classic are still too short.
Yeah.
And occasionally you'll hear like, there's not enough consoles to go around and everything. I mean, of course, that's a little negative, but for the most part, it's a lot of joy surrounding Nintendo. So I think it's perfect for the holiday season. You get Mario. People that haven't picked up Zelda yet, get new Nintendo hardware. That's just so exciting.
Yeah, it's so crazy that we're getting Mario and Zelda in the same year. Like, they're both going to be in the Game of the Year talks.
Yeah, that's incredible. I am so excited for that conversation.
Do you think Mario has a chance of being Game of the Year?
I think it has a chance, definitely.
Do you think it has a realistic chance of being Zelda?
Of beating Zelda?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I can't say specifically why yet. I need to play through the game, but... And I'm not hating on Zelda, but still, like, I still think Horizon... And not every way, because Zelda definitely does some things better than Horizon. I will never deny that. But in a lot of ways, I think Horizon's better than Zelda. I know Preston would burn me at the stake for saying that. And maybe I'm insane. Maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but that's just what I believe.
I agree with you.
So, and it's such a huge year. I mean, this arguably could be the biggest year of gaming we've had in a very, very long time.
I don't know what I'm going to pick.
I mean, this. I'm not even naming all of them. I can't remember all of them, but we have, because there's a ton of indie games that are amazing too, but just the big hitters, Horizon, Zelda, Persona, Mario will be in there. Shadow of War, I've heard that's sort of in there, but I don't know if that's going to make it in or not as far as discussions.
People are trying to throw in PUBG, maybe?
Yeah, PUBG, if that people consider that like, it's early access. I mean, I consider that a full game. I mean, I know it's marketed as an early access title, but it's essentially what it is. I think it's technically full game.
I still wouldn't vote for it, even if it was a finished game.
No, I don't think I'd ever rate a game for Game of the Year based off its popularity. I think it's awesome. I love playing that game, but I don't think I would ever consider it Game of the Year. In terms of popularity, of course, if it was a popularity contest, they'd blow everyone out of the water. Yeah. But as far as just an overall experience, Horizon's still up there for me, so it'll be interesting to see how Mario combats that.
Yeah, it's like every game this year has like a thing that it does better than all the other games.
I know. It's so good, man. It's so sad too because I haven't had time to play nearly any of them. I think I've played all the way through Horizon Platinum, that one.
I've played through 2 of them. Hopefully 3 was.
I'm at the very end of Zelda. I will get through Mario. I know that game's totally going to consume me.
It really makes me sad that I probably won't get to Nier Automata or
That's another one I totally forgot about. That one will probably also be in discussions. I don't think it'll win. And maybe it'll win for maybe writing. I heard the music's spectacular. I don't know if people have said it's better than Persona's music, but I've heard the music's very good in Nier. So that's why I can't wait for our own little version of the Game Awards to do the different categories like best campaign and best multiplayer and best narrative.
Could we hold that off till like after I play through a little bit of Xenoblade Chronicles too?
Oh, of course. I mean,
that comes out December 1st.
Yeah, I was thinking we would do our Game of the Year talk midway through December.
Okay.
Maybe like December.
That's perfect.
December 20th or something like that. Okay. Like maybe like the week before Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's the last game I want to play before we have that talk.
And then we'll do our traditional courtesy of Nerd Much every year. The last week of the year, we talk about the top 30 plus games of 2018 that are coming that we're excited about.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I feel like that's a tradition now. We've done it 2 years in a row. Yeah. That's kind of how we got to know Nerd Much. That's so cool.
Kind of.
I think it's so funny that I typed in like top games coming in 2017 and that Nerd Much is the first one. I was like, who was this?
We struck luck.
And it's been history ever since. History. Does that make sense? The rest is history. That's what I was looking for, Jacob. Nintendo. I think they're going to dominate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired too, man.
What time is it?
It's late.
It's 12:20?
Yeah.
I'm going to die in the morning, Jacob.
It's almost 1.
I'm going to cry in the morning when I have to wake up.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why you're doing this right now.
I'm going to pay a visit. It's because I live for this, dude. I live for this YouTube channel. I love it so much.
I do too.
Even if we fail, I don't even think I'll ever consider this a failure, even if we have to stop one day, because it's been such an amazing ride. But even if we never progress beyond where we're at, I will never regret a single moment of it. I love it so much, and I love everyone tuning in. It's
been fun talking with you and Preston every single week to discuss video games, obviously,
for almost 3 years. It's amazing. Community questions, Jacob.
Best part of the show.
My favorite part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, Jacob. One you missed.
I did.
It bounced in and out, which is my kind of luck when I play basketball. I typically do those shots where it goes in and out of the rim.
I like to do the ones where I hit the back of the rim and it just bricks off.
Those are the best.
Yeah. Or I just airball.
I've been there many times, Jacob. Thank you to all of you who sent us amazing questions this week. You guys continually blow my mind every single week. I know I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but you guys are incredible with your community questions, and we are truly drowning in amazing Ask IOG questions. I know I'm terrible for saying this. I keep saying we're going to do Ask IOG this week.
And I think like the past 2 weeks we've said we're going to do it.
I think longer than. I think we've been saying that for a month, dude. Every single week something comes up to where it is physically impossible for us to do it. And I don't believe in doing Ask IOG without the three of us being there. I think we've done more episodes with just the two of us doing Ask IOG without Preston. And I really, really want to try to avoid that because I think the purpose of that show is for all of us to be there together. So that's why it's been so delayed. Lord willing, we will do one this week because there are so many. We're on Spotify now. We're on iTunes. I think we're on Google Play with Ask IOG, and I think Stitcher will be coming soon. So the big three are there: Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify. Ask IOG is available if you're not already listening to it. I know there's a lot of you out there on our RSS feed that aren't necessarily on YouTube. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify or iTunes, and you want to hear our additional show that was originally exclusive to YouTube, Ask IOG is now available on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. Again, that is ASK space capital IOG. It's a red logo, white lettering. Can't miss it. Even has the It's Obvious Gaming logo underneath it, so you know it's us.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the show fueled exclusively by community questions, typically the more random, eccentric questions.
By your questions, the community.
Exactly. Those are the ones I'm...
the EOGs.
The EOGs. Ask EOG, as we like to say. It's much easier than saying Ask IOG.
When I think of the word EOG, I think of like donkeys or something. It's EOGs.
EOG. It kind of sounds like EA.
It sounds like Eeyore from Pooh Bear.
That's what it sounds like.
That's why I think that.
I've always called my aunt, I know this makes no sense, I've always called her EA my entire life.
What?
Because as a kid, I couldn't say Laura, and I muttered out EA over and over and over. I still to this day, I refer to her as EA.
Nice.
And that's strange.
Some word you made up.
Yeah, and it's stuck. Everyone calls her EA. My whole family calls her EA.
Look at that. You trademarked her name.
I renamed a human being as an infant.
Yes. See how much power you have?
I had a lot of power as a baby, naming people left and right.
Because you're so adorable. They're like, oh, he's so adorable.
I named my...
do what he says.
You ever heard these... maybe you've heard similar grandparent names. I called my dad... On my dad's side, I called my grandparents Namaw and Dampaw.
Namaw
and Dampaw. You ever heard those names
Those
before?
are made up too.
Yeah, name them. Well, everyone calls them Namaw and Dampaw.
See, I was a very edgy kid. I called my grandparents Grandma and Grandpa.
That is
crazy,
fucked up, Jacob.
It's pretty crazy.
Just kidding. Sound like you're out of a storybook. Grandfather, grandmother,
grandpapa, grandmama,
grandpa, grandma. I mean, whatever. That's traditional, I guess. Very traditional of you.
Yeah.
American traditional, kind of like the tattoo style.
Yes, that's what I was.
You could get
for.
American traditional tattoos that say grandma and grandpa somewhere on your body.
Yeah, you can get them on your ass cheeks. How about that?
I still am getting
I see those all the time.
I'm getting that. It's OG. We're talking about it on the stream the other
tramp
night.
Stamp?
Not a tramp stamp. I'm getting it on the ass. The It's OG logo. If we ever hit 1 million subscribers, that day will never happen. But theoretically, if we ever hit that day, that tattoo's going on my ass and we're vlogging the entire thing.
I want to get it somewhere that I'm proud to have it.
I just think it's so funny.
I would like to show it off. Butt. You can't just show off your butt all the time. You can, I guess, but who wants to be showing off their butt?
I mean, I don't want to show off my butt. You can moon a few people.
Maybe
get arrested
you should get
for
two. You
public
get one on
indecency.
your butt and then you get one on your cheek or something.
I would get two, yeah. I'd get one as a joke on my butt to follow through on what we said we do. And you guys backed out like 2 weeks later, like, no, I can't do that to my ass.
I always backed out. I never said I would do it.
It's a shame. You guys can trust in me. If by some miracle we hit 1 million subscribers, you will see that in action. And I'll be proud of it.
I think I'd get it on a breast.
A breast, huh?
Or, yeah, a breast. I think that'd be fitting for the tab.
I think It's OG would fit. I think it's more of like maybe like a calf tattoo for me. I don't know if I put it. I don't know if I put it on
tattoos.
Maybe I'd put it here-ish.
That'd be a good spot.
Somewhere on the forearm, maybe.
Or like on the shoulder.
How about on the eyeball and like where the circle where the O is on around your eye?
That's brilliant.
It's just on your face.
I like that.
I like that too. I think it's settled. I'm going to get it on my face.
All right.
If you guys want to send us questions, you can reach us in one of 3 places. You can email us at, excuse me, Jacob, at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at obvious_gaming, or you can submit your questions in the Ask IOG section on our Discord channel using the hashtag AskIOG so that we know you want your questions read on the show. And even if you just want to talk, feel free to message us anytime. We love talking to you guys about anything and everything. With that being said, Jacob, the first question comes from Sam Harris.
Sam Harris, welcome Not going to say your secret identity.
We don't want to give it away.
No.
He actually has a movie coming out very soon that he's starring in. I'm very excited to see him in action. Sam says, "Hey, muchachos, do you think loot boxes..."
What did you call me?
Jacob, it's fine, man. Get over it. "Do you think loot boxes / crates are a form of gambling? Love to hear your thoughts."
No.
You don't think so?
No.
ESRB says they're not gambling either. I think to an extent they're gambling. By definition, they sort of are, because you're putting money into a machine and it randomly gives you items. 3 items, like a slot machine.
When you gamble, you don't always get something.
I saw slot machines as far as the eye can see this past weekend. I mean, you get off. I mean, it's just like in the movies. You get off the airplane, there's slot machines right in your face.
The main difference is when you gamble, like in real life or something, you're not guaranteed anything.
That's true. You could get absolutely nothing. That's true. In loot boxes, you always get something.
You're always getting something. You might not be anything near what you want, but you're getting something. And if you're not getting something you don't have, you're getting currency to get things you do want.
That's why I say to an extent, because arguably it sort of is gambling. But again, like you said, it's a great point. You always get something. Even if it's something stupid, you still get something.
I mean, I get it. Like it's bullshit that you're just rolling a number generator to have a chance of getting an item you want. You can just straight out buy anything you want, which is, it's frustrating for something like Destiny, for example. You can't buy shaders that you want all the time. You have to roll roll the numbers and hope you get the shaders you want, which is paying real money.
Mm-hmm. I don't full on say no to the gambling thing. I just say it sort of is, but not fully. I think your point is the best one I've heard, is that you're always getting something.
Yep.
So even if you hate it, you're getting something. Big D says, what the great gaming memory you have? I guess he meant to say, what's a great gaming memory you have? Mine was when I was 12. I'm 24 now. I went to a college gaming event where people showed off the games they made during that year. I'm a group of college kids were playing Halo 2 and they had about 20 people watching. I was a kid standing in the front row and they asked me to play. They let me choose the map and game mode, so of course I chose Lockout BR's FFA. What is FFA?
Free for all?
Free for all. That's exactly what it is. I'm terrible with abbreviations. So Slayer. If he had said Slayer, I would have understood what he meant. I ended up destroying everyone. It felt so good that I was just a young kid and was able to outplay a bunch of grown men at a video game. Even had to use...
Kids are better at video games.
That's true. A lot of times they are.
To an extent, I guess.
A lot of kids are better than me at shooters these days.
Yeah.
Which really makes me sad. Even had to use the big, bulky original Xbox controller. Those things were bulky, man. That's a great gaming memory. I would have loved to have been a little kid and outplay all the grown adults in Halo. It's got to be a badass feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a full podcast dedicated to this subject. I think it's actually called our greatest gaming memories.
Yeah, and we've answered this question several times since then, too.
I want to pull a random one out of my head. Playing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on GameCube on a summer afternoon. Flying my broomstick around Hogwarts, free roaming. That was my first taste of a free roam situation in a game where I could take my broomstick, the Nimbus 2000, mind you, and fly it around Hogwarts freely. That was fun. That was an amazing.
I remember doing
feeling.
That myself.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So,
gotcha.
That's a random one for me. I could say a million, but that's just one I'm pulling out of my head.
One that I always think back on, and that I brought up before, is playing Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow with all my friends on our Game Boy Colors in their basement. Like, I no joke, we would literally spend like whole days in the summer just sitting in their basement just playing Pokemon. We would often battle each other. We would trade Pokemon that we couldn't get on our specific versions. We were everything Nintendo dreamed of when they made Pokemon.
You lived it.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I think on my original Pokemon Blue, I had every Pokemon. Like, we played the crap out of it.
Nice.
I miss those days when I could just sit down and play Pokemon all the time.
You want to hear something sad?
What's sad?
A lot of my gaming memories are from just watching Preston play through full games. Yeah. He would never let me play him. Whenever we had a sleepover at his house, I couldn't play games. I just watched him play all weekend long.
If only you had a Switch.
I told you I watched live streams in person as a kid. I watched Preston play through full games.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
if only you had realized that you should have taken it to the internet and called it
We could have been the first to do so, the first Let's Plays on the internet.
Yeah, you call it Garrett Live or something, I don't know.
How about we just rename the entire channel to Garrett Live?
Garrett Live.
I think that's a brilliant title, Jake.
How about you buy out Twitch and name it Garrett Live?
That's a pretty bold move. I think it's nearly impossible, but you can count on me to do my best in order to make that happen.
All right.
Garrett Live. How original and amazing of a title, Jake. Sam Crow says, Sam Crow's one of the gentlemen I played Destiny with on the live stream with Glorious Lemon.
Just a side note, I'm very damp right now.
It's so hot in here, dude. I'm
like in the last 10 minutes, it's gotten so hot.
I'm exhausted, and I'm burning alive. It's terrible. I'm sorry, Jacob. I think that's been the statement we've said most on this podcast for the last 3 years. It's so hot in this room.
No, probably it's obvious is what we said the most.
Probably, but I think we've complained about the heat the most.
Yeah, we have.
My catchphrase is, I'm too busy. What's your catchphrase? I don't think you have one.
I don't have one. I don't know. I say a lot.
What is Preston's?
I don't know. He had one that he was saying for a while. I forgot what it was though.
I mean, I definitely get hung up on certain phrases or words every now and then, and I catch myself after a while, and I tell myself over and over again that I cannot say that word anymore.
Every time you guys talk, I just don't listen, so yeah. I'm not the best person to ask.
That's fine, man. I get it. We all kind of turn our brains off to each other. It's kind of weird.
Why is your ink red?
Because my printer ran out of black ink, so I had to use red. Mm-hmm. It's kind of straining on the eyeballs. But you got to do what you got to do.
Meh.
Sam Crow says, I love Metal Gear Solid. I first watched my brother play it in the 90s, and after which I played each installment with greater and greater anticipation. The characters are amazing, and the deep detail has always amazed me. Metal Gear is one of the games that made me fall in love with gaming. I've heard you talk about Metal Gear Solid 5 on the podcast before, and so I have to ask, who else loves this series? And if so, who/what is your favorite game/character? I hate to break this news to you, Sam Crow, if you haven't heard it before, but I have only played all the way through one Metal Gear game, and that is Metal Gear Solid 5. I love that game, and I understand that hardcore Metal Gear fans, more often than not, don't enjoy it as much as the previous installments, but I love it. I've seen many of the Metal Gear games in action. I've seen most of 4 in action. A buddy of mine used to play it frequently after school, and I just go over there and watch him. An older one on PlayStation 1 I saw a lot of as well. I don't remember which one it was, but I've seen many of them in action, but I've only played one of them all the way through myself, and that was 5. So if I had to give a favorite character, I'm just going to go ahead and say Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 5. That's the only one I can name. The Kiefer Sutherland style one, too, because that's the only voice I know.
Yep.
So what about you, Jacob?
I pretty much echo everything you say, except I didn't finish 5. So I played like half a minute.
I know that's such a disappointing answer for Metal Gear fans. And
that's not to say we don't recognize how important the series is and what it stands for.
I've said this before, too. I think Preston agrees. Arguably, he and I should be massive fans of this series because we love stealth action games. So I don't know why I haven't played more of them in the past.
Yeah. So I think I watched a video of before it came out of learning everything about Metal Gear, and I still don't remember any of it.
I mean, Splinter Cell's better, dude. Splinter Cell Conviction's the best stealth game of all time.
Yeah, that's why they've made one.
Who am I kidding? It's
for the new consoles.
That was such a sin of me to say that it was better than Thief.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I banish you from podcasting.
Can I come back
for
now?
saying that?
Can I come back to finish these questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because I can't see them from here.
Yeah. Bojangles945. Bohongales. Mr. Kyle says, why hello, gentlemen. How goes ye on this fine day?
Oh, we will.
Hot and tired, but well.
Yeah.
With Halloween just around the corner, what are your worst horror game experiences? It can either entail just a bad horror game or moments of underwear-filling terror.
Wait, what's the question?
Your worst horror game experiences, but it says that it can either entail just a bad horror game, like just a bad game, or moments of underwear-filling terror.
I don't even know. I don't play scary games. It would have to be one of the times I'm with you, I guess.
I don't play many scary games, so I don't know if I can say I've played a bad one, per se. My favorite's Dead Space. I've said that before, the original Dead Space. That's definitely one of the best ones for me. I crap my pants multiple times, not literally, of course. Like I mentioned, I haven't crapped my pants as a grown man. Keeping my fingers crossed that never happens. But that one was definitely exhilarating for me. You guys have seen me, most of you have seen me fall out of my chair playing Resident Evil 7 in VR.
That was a scary game.
That scared me, man. VR really did it for me.
Probably one of the scariest times for me was when that Oozman.
Yeah, the Oozman.
Walked behind that corner.
Yeah.
I think it was when, was it you or me playing? I think it was you.
It was when I fell out of my chair. Yeah, when
you're right. Yeah.
That's because you remember the previous video, we were having all those problems with my capture card. Mm-hmm. So...
And we restarted the game without saving.
We did.
That was when I was playing. Then you jumped right in.
Because you played through that part and got through it. And I was under the assumption that we had already completed that part. And I just happened to be spawning in the room before that area. I was like, oh, we're good, man. So I come flying around that corner. That thing, man, just how large and horrifying it is and just how scary it sounds. I had the volume cranked all the way up. It took me so off guard that, I mean, I have the clip on YouTube. I fall out of my chair. I've never fallen out of my chair playing a game before. And that really... shook me.
And I bet if I hadn't seen Mrs. Baker prior, it would have been terrifying for me as it was for you.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite, most subtle moment from that entire walkthrough of that game is the second before she busts out. You know she's coming. You just very gently hold on to me because you know I'm going to freak out. Because you had seen her and I'm like, she's going to come up behind me and just bust out of that window.
I think I saw PewDiePie play through that part.
Okay. Yeah, that was a horrifying moment as well. The whole boss battle is very action-packed, but she's just so horrifying to look at, especially in VR.
You ran around like a lunatic the whole fight.
I did. I was screaming bloody murder the entire time.
Yeah.
So.
If you haven't seen that walkthrough of our Resident Evil, was it 7?
7.
Yeah, go watch that.
That's my favorite.
Probably one of our best walkthroughs.
Yeah, that's my favorite series we've done so far. I had so much fun with that. That's why I want to do more VR stuff, especially horror, because I think you and I have so much fun with that. Outlast was okay. I just thought that game was kind of silly.
I didn't enjoy that game at all.
Yeah, that game was just stupid at the end. I was like, this is so dumb. I like the first one way more. Shout out to Outlast 1. That game really freaked me and Preston out when we first played it. Now, I could go back and play it now and I wouldn't be scared at all because I know what to expect. When you first play Outlast, you don't know what to expect. It's really scary. That was a good one for me. I look forward to trying Visage with you, Jacob. I really want to get to that before Halloween occurs this year. I got to get to Resident Evil 4. I know that's not totally horrifying per se. It's more of an action game, but I want to play that one. I have it on my PSN dashboard currently.
I played this scary game one time called Doom. Mm-hmm. I haven't played Doom, actually.
You really do. I'm
waiting for the Switch version.
Yeah. Would you ever actually play it on Switch over PS4?
No.
That's good, because it's excellent on PS4.
Is it on PC?
I'm pretty sure it is, yes.
Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, might as well. I'm sure that's probably the best version. So,
unlimited frames.
Totally, dude. Yeah, those are probably my best horror moments that I can think of at this moment.
There's this guy on this Destiny podcast I listen to, and he calls like the PC community the Church of Unlimited Frames. And the way he talks about PC, like he's joking, but
yeah,
like he preaches about Destiny 2 on PC and
the Church of Unlimited Frames.
I always get a chuckle out of it.
That sounds amazing. I love that.
He's like trying to convert other members on the podcast to the church.
To the faith. Yeah. That's so funny. Speaking of Halloween, last year, if you haven't heard it, we did a full-on Halloween episode where we dressed up in costumes and talked about our favorite movies, games, and stories from Halloween, like personal scary stories we've experienced from our lives. And that was a pretty lengthy episode, but we have a full-on Halloween episode from last year if you guys want to hear it. I don't know if we'll do anything similar this year. We may do something kind of silly or spooky again, but we've kind of shared all of our spooky stories. So if you haven't heard any of our scary stories, I recommend that episode.
I guarantee that question's going to come up for Halloween.
It might, but maybe we'll think of something unique. I mean, at the very least, we'll dress up again, I guess. But
what did we wear? Just masks?
I wore a Batman mask. Preston wore a butterfly mask, and I think you did too. I think you guys both wore different butterfly masks. You were a butterfly man, remember?
Yes.
Preston wore a green mask, I think. All the masks came off towards the end because they were just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We kept them on for the most part, though.
Yeah.
I kept Batman on for at least an hour.
Is it that pair of glasses up there?
No, maybe I'll wear that this year.
Did you wear your cowl?
I wore the full-on cowl, yeah.
God.
Imagine the heat in this room with that thing on. It was awful. Hell Teacher Loki says, have you guys been practicing? This is the one I was excited about. Have you guys been practicing your Zavala impression? Which of you can do it best? I have 5 lines for you to try.
Oh, God.
So we're going to read these together. Now, I have not been practicing. I totally forgot about this. I'll have to really pull this out of my ass right now. So the first one is, Guardians, the city is lost. Is there light left in the system? Wait. If there is light left in the system, we rally on Titan. You want to go first?
No, I think that's 2 different ones you said.
No, that's the first one.
Where's the question? Second to last.
Right here. 1. It starts at the number 1 right there. Guardians. You're the best at it.
I thought you were going.
No, I can't do the whole thing right now. I want to hear you do it first. Because I'm going to pull my accent out of yours because I can't really hear Zavala in my head right now.
All right, I'll try this. Guardians.
You nail Guardians.
Guardians. The city is lost. If there is light left in the system, we rally on Titan.
That's so good, Jacob.
Here's the second one. Without the light, are we even Guardians anymore? I need Ikora and Cade.
I need my fire team.
All right, let's see here. Number 4.
Was that 2 or 3?
That was 3. Okay. I did 2 and 3 back to back. Number 4 is, let's see here. If there's one thing I've learned from Cade, it's the value of a grand entrance. And the last one, oh god.
This is a Cade quote?
The last one's just almighty.
Almighty.
And there's a parentheses for you. I don't know. I think it's the teen voice. I don't know.
I don't understand which voice you're referring to because it says special request for Garrett. Say those lines with the pissed off teen voice. LOL.
Yeah.
I don't know what voice that is.
I don't either.
Because I don't really have a name for any voices I do, so I don't know which one he's referring to.
Well, that's your problem. People don't know how to tell you to do the voices because you don't name them.
I don't know. I can't do Zavala nearly as good as you can. Guardians.
The Almighty.
I think if I practice, I could do it. And Cade. Cade's pretty easy. Cade. I need my fire team.
Hawthorne. That one's easy.
Yeah, you're good. That's way better than me. I think you killed it, Jacob.
Zavala is my spirit animal.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're really good at what's his name from Diablo? We've always had you
Deckard Cain.
Yeah, we've always had you do Deckard Cain.
That's the thing. Like it's been so long since I played that game. I can't remember any of his lines anymore. I need
Get back,
stay back. I probably don't even do a good impression.
I've always loved your Deckard Cain.
I'll have to replay that. I should play Diablo again. I'm not going to play it anytime soon, but I miss Diablo.
I'm still holding out for Diablo 4. I love Diablo 3.
There's no D3 announcements at BlizzCon this year. It's really disappointing. I thought they were going to announce D4.
I played through Diablo 3 with and without you guys at least 3 or 4 times. Max.
What do you mean with you guys?
Like I know there's you and I played through it twice together at least. It was either
once
you
on
and
PC and once on
console. And I played it once with someone else all the way through. I can't remember who it was.
Really?
I think it was John.
Wasn't it Preston?
It was Preston or John, one of the two.
Because it was you and Preston that played while I was in Panama City that one year.
That's true.
Right?
I believe so.
Or was it just Preston?
Preston played way more than I did when we were in the apartment. I'll never forget his janky setup, man. He had like that crappy old monitor. He used a drum pad as the same drum pad we have our stupid light on. He used as a mouse pad back in the day.
Yep.
It's so funny.
Good times.
Yeah, and look at the PC he has now.
Yeah, he's come so far.
Zero Shadow Fox says we've already done that one. That's the one from PUBG.
Is that the last one?
That was the last one.
So we're done.
We are. We're done for episode 123 of the It's Obvious podcast.
That's a wrap. See you guys later.
Bye. Yeah, Jacob, I'm sad that we won't be able to hang out for at least a few more days.
Yeah.
I really want to do a video with you.
You're leaving me to go to Seattle.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a fun time. Another short trip, but it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to talk about it because this one's, even though it's for a game we've already all played. But
I'm very jealous that you get to go back to Seattle. It's a place I definitely want to visit one day.
It's fun. It's a fun place. This trip specifically is a little different, so I can't wait to talk about it in, I guess, 2 weeks, which is so funny. I'm like, why is it so heavily embargoed? You think it's like an unannounced game or something. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they're hiding something I don't know about yet. I would love that, but I doubt it. So, but yeah, I got to get up in 4-ish hours, 3.5 to do sound.
I do not envy you, and I'm very sorry you have to deal with
That's the thing, though. I love running sound at Brownsbridge. I think it's because I've been.
It's the thing, though. You're going to be so low energy. Not that you have to have a ton of energy to do something like that.
I'm going to go through the local Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to get a large black coffee, dark roast.
It's right there by the location, too.
Yes, large dark roast black coffee with 2, not 1, 2 turbo shots.
Wow. I don't even know what a turbo shot is.
Turbo shots are their version of espresso.
Wow.
I think turbo shot sounds so much more exciting.
Yeah.
Give me that turbo.
Turbo times 3.
It'll launch you into the stratosphere for about 45 minutes, and then you crash so hard.
Is it worth it then?
I think it is, because it's like...
Because you're just going to be warming up at that point.
It's because I feel so good while drinking it. Then I'm like, you feel like you could conquer the world, but as soon as it comes down, the world comes crashing
It's like
down
me after my 5th drink of alcohol.
Really?
Like a 5th and 6th are like where you feel like you can conquer the world. Mm-hmm. Then you have like 10, then you want to die.
I told you last night I had that feeling very briefly for about 20 minutes, and it was nice. So... what were we talking about? Oh, yeah.
We're closing out the show.
Yeah, I don't know what video we're going to do, but I want to do something with you. I really think we should do Visage. It looks horrifying. It's VR, and I think you and I would have a great time doing it.
I guess I don't like VR horror games, but...
Why? Is it because you're scared?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm scared too, Jacob. That's part of the fun.
You want to know what my main problem with the VR unit is?
What's that?
How freaking sweaty I get in here after using it.
It's because it's so hot in here.
I know.
It's just too hot. It's a shame.
I hate it.
That's why my dream is to reach a point where it makes sense for us to have an actual studio and we can air condition the F out of it, Jacob. That's my dream.
Air condition the F out of your asshole.
You'll know we've made it when we have an air conditioned room to work in. Yeah, that's when I'll know we're successful.
That's the ultimate goal of any company.
It is. To have air conditioning. Yeah. So one day, Jacob, we can dream big. But that'll do it for episode 123. If you guys are still here listening, you'd be amazed. Thank you so much for joining us each and every week and submitting your questions, leaving comments, liking the YouTube video if you're even on YouTube. If you guys are on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere else, we do encourage you guys to come check us out on YouTube. If you hate the videos, you never have to come back. I don't blame you at all. But if you're willing to say hello, we love hearing from you guys we've never heard from before. So I know there's a lot of you out there from many different places.
If they hate the videos, they've watched an awful long time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for the continued support. I know we say this week in and week out, we are so busy with individual life things we have going on, whether it be school and work. Things we're pursuing, but this YouTube channel does mean so much to us and so to all of you guys. And connecting with all of you these past few years have been awesome. And I cannot wait for what the future holds. And the rest of this year, we have amazing games just over the horizon, and I cannot wait to talk about them with all of you.
I cannot wait to stream all these great games coming out, and I can't wait to play with each and every one of you.
Amen.
Not that I can play with every single person, but
right.
We're going to definitely try and play with a lot of you guys on all these multiplayer games coming out.
Totally, sure. Yeah. Especially Star Wars and Call of Duty for me. I think those are the two big multiplayer
shooters. Is there another shooter coming out?
I feel like there is. Maybe there isn't. Yeah. I know Wolfenstein's coming out, but it's not multiplayer.
Yeah, I guess it's just Call of Duty and Battlefront.
Mm-hmm. I think we're covering all of our bases there. Yeah. I'm falling asleep while talking right now.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much. We hope you have a blessed week. And whatever it is you're doing, wherever you are in the world, know that we are so thankful for you and grateful to have you tuning in. It's always a pleasure and an honor to hear from you guys each every week. So we encourage you to comment below if you're willing to do so about anything we've discussed or anything we didn't discuss. If you guys just want to talk in the comments, by all means. And we will see you all in Discord and have already set up a good week. I'm dying, Jacob.
Have a great week, everyone. I will see you next week when hopefully Preston's back too.
Yes. And count on some streams if we don't do any Let's Plays. I want to do a Let's Play, but at the very least count on streams Tuesday, Wednesday, and or Thursday.
Yeah. There should be at least one stream for me hosting this week.
And God willing, we'll have an Ask IOG come out later this week. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
But goodbye, everyone.
Have a good week.